Prayers.
Almighty God, who in thy wisdom and goodness has appointed the offices of rulers and parliament for the welfare of society and just government of men, we beseech thee to behold with thy abundant favor us thy servants, whom thou hast been pleased to call to the performance of important trusts in this land. Let thy blessing descend upon us here in this house assembled. Grant us that we may treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner to promote thy honor and glory, to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of this country and of those whose interests thou hast committed to our charge. Amen.
Correction and approval of record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Monday, the 1st July 2024.
Honorable members, the record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Monday, 1st July 2024 is before us for correction and approval. Can any honorable member please move that the said record of votes and proceedings Honorable member for Tumanna.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I rise to move the motion for the correction and approval of the records of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sittings of Tuesday, 2nd July 2024. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Tumanna. Any seconder, Honorable Members? Honorable Member for Kian Central.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I rise to second the motion.
Honorable members, it has been moved and seconded that the record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Monday, 1st July 2024 be considered and approved. We again look at it as usual. We all have copies of the said record of votes and proceedings. We look at it page by page, beginning with page 1. Honorable members, let me apologize. I want us to recognize the presence of His Excellency, the Vice President, amidst us this morning. Your Excellency, you are most welcome. I also recognize the presence of the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy. Welcome. Honorable Member for Tumanna.
Yes, Honorable Speaker. There are two documents before us. they are carrying different dates. I don't know which one is which, because if you see the other one is carrying Monday, 1st July 2024, and the agenda, on the agenda you have correction of vote and on Tuesday, July 2024.
Yeah, if you look at the, where is the agenda, I think the honorable member for Tumana seconded moved the motion. And I think you moved it for Monday, the motion for Monday first.
Tuesday.
I mean, there was no sitting on Tuesday. Yesterday, there was no sitting.
Thinking that maybe there is an error.
No. Yesterday we had an error.
No, what I mean.
Yeah, what you rightly moved that we are considering the record of votes for Monday first. That's what we are going to consider.
Yes, that's my.
Now, what you have observed is on the other paper.
Yes.
You now have the Tuesday, 2nd July.
Good.
Yeah, that one should be corrected to Monday, 1st July 2024 on the other paper.
I got it.
Honorable members, do you follow? On the other paper, is there Tuesday, 2nd July? It should be Monday, 1st July 2024. So we will not go back on the motion because you've already moved the correct motion. So we can now proceed. From page 1, any comments on page 1? We move to page 2, honorable members. Honorable Member for Sabak Sanjal.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Where you have the following honorable members were present up to where it ends page 2. If you look at, there's a clause in page 3 which says, the assembly was suspended for 1 hour after the attention of the Honorable Speaker was drawn to the fact that a quorum was not present. I believe this statement is right, but it should come before you have the members who were present. Because if you have this coming after the list of members who were present, it already indicates that there was already quorum. So this should come before you have the members who were present, because otherwise you have already confirmed that you have 42 members. So I think this statement should come before you have the members who were present. Thank you.
I think you are right, just that you have moved us from page 2 to page 3. What the honorable member is trying to say is that statement, the suspension of the assembly because of lack of quorum, should come before the members who were present after we resumed sessions. So table office will know that. Honorable members, we now continue on page 3. Upper Fladu West.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, if you look at page 3, the following honorable members.
You must take us to the relevant paragraph, otherwise you will make us read everything.
No, sorry. I was thinking it's page 4, sorry.
All right. Honorable, any more on page 3? Yes, page 3. Okay, we can now move to page 4. Under the honorable member for Upper Fladu West, you can now take your...
Yes, if you look at page 4, the following members participated in the debate. The number of members listed is 12. I think that very day it was more than 12 members who participated in the debate.
Whose names were, who are those who participated and their names are not there? Honorables, raise your tags.
Yes.
Honorable member for Upper Fladu West, are you aware of anybody whose name is not listed who had participated?
No, what happened, I thought that those members who have participated, all of them, their names were written, but if you go to the other page, page 6, the remaining members' names were captured there.
So you are just withdrawing your observations?
Yeah, so sorry for interrupting.
Honorable members, page, you said somebody? Lower Salon.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving the floor. And, Honorable Speaker, I just observed something which you have made a ruling on that day. Motioned to impose time limit by the member for Sabak Sanjal. But if you go to the standing orders, it's only the ABC committee member who can move a motion for time limit, and even he is not a member. That was the day that I was just trying to raise my tag, but you make your ruling final. So I don't know. How does possibility now, the proceedings?
I don't know, honorable member. Whoever, this was done by you and everybody here. And now it is something we are looking after. We cannot go back over that again.
What I'm saying here is,
I understood you well. What you were saying is, the members who should have moved the motion for time limit should have been a member of the ABC committee. I think that's what you said. And you are now saying the honorable member who moved for this time limit is not a member of the ABC committee. But that's what had happened. They are recording what happened.
At the time, I raised my tax.
Honorable, I don't think we should go back to at the time. What can you do, or what can I do about that?
That's why I'm asking now. You allow your members to your table office to advise you correctly. Then, this is why they are there to advise you, because already the proceedings has been is wrong, it's violated. So let them advise you. You have a legal team, table office, blah blah blah.
Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker.
Yes, somebody wanted to say something. Sabak Sanyal.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. First, I move the motion on the standing order 53K and 61.3, which I will want to refer the Honorable House. 51.3 says, a motion for limitation of debate under this standing order may be made without notice, and it continues to say, provided that such motion shall not be made in the course of the debate, to which it refers unless it is moved after adjournment of such debate and before the debate is resumed. So there is, in this copy that I have, there is nowhere where it says that the motion can only be moved by a member of the ABC committee. I submit.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, the reference standing orders 61.2 that the Honorable Member for Lower Salum referred to, and that the Honorable Standing Order 63K 53. $53K. 61? I can't even go to court. 61. Yes, you all quoted sections from Standing Order 61. I will read all of them, and I'll make a determination. 61(2), quoted by the Honorable Member for Lower Salu, states, the Assembly may, on a motion made by the Assembly Business Committee in accordance with the standing order, impose a limit in respect of debate in any particular motion or bill by allotting a limited period of time for such debate, or by limiting the time during which members may speak in such debate, or by imposing both such limitations, and made reference to Amendment 20 of 25th June 2020. And then the Honorable Member for Sabak Sanjal referred to 61(3), which reads, Honorable Members, a motion for limitation of debate under this standing order may be made without notice, provided that such motion shall not be made in the course of the debate to which it refers, unless it is moved after adjournment of such debate and before the debate resumed. It also referred to the amendment of 25th June 2020. I would have loved to get legal advice on this, but my take so far is that Section 61(2) has made it in a way that members of the ABC should move a motion for limitation of time. Section 61(3) says limitation of time may be made without saying a member or ABC or anything. But my inference is that it is referring to 61(2), that it is the members of the ABC are the ones to make it. But this is subject to legal interpretation. I'm not making a ruling on it. I will make a ruling following consultations with the legal department. But what I want to add, honorable members, is when you want to contribute, you want to say something, and for instance, the speaker does not want it done, and you believe it's an infringement on the standing orders, then you should stand up on a point of order, because there the speaker cannot refuse you. So if the honorable member for Lower Salum had thought it then that he wanted to comment, and for whatever reasons, according to him, I did not give him chance, he should have stood up on a point of order that would have averted the situation we are in today. But the situation, as quoted by both of you, we will be advised, and we will make a ruling on it, and then henceforth we'll be working according to that ruling. I don't want to make a unilateral decision without legal advice. We can proceed. Honorable members, I think we are on page 5, am I right? Yes. Any more on page 5? Yes. Yes, honorable member for Sabak Sanya.
Yes, on page 5, where you have motion without notice, order 53K. Honorable Seni Jawara, member for Lower Salum, moved a motion for the assembly to break for prayers and lunch, and it was seconded by, the title for Honorable Keba Langfofana is not there. So there should be Honorable Keba Langfofana. nominated member.
Noted. Any order on page 5? We can now move to page 6. Honorable members, we now go to page 7. Yes, Honorable Member for Sabak Sanyal.
Thank you very much. Honorable Speaker, on page 7, if you could remember when the Vice President was responding to issues, at the end of his response, you put the question. The motion was adopted, and then you ask the Vice President, the member for Nyamina Dankunku, said that his question was not answered. And you advise, based on your advice, the Vice President also requested for the Minister of Finance to come and then give answers to that question. That is not captured. And also, you ask Honorable Nyamina Dankunku to also move a motion to rescind the decision of the Parliament, which he also assigned another member to do. But then that is not captured. I don't know. If it is of importance, I think it is important for us to capture that. Thank you.
You are right, Honorable Member for Sabak Sanjal. Those are serious omissions. It should be captured. We concluded almost, and then we had to again invite members to come out with their proposals, and therefore we had to rescind the earlier motion, which was done, to allow the Vice President continue, or the Honorable Minister for Finance and Economic Affairs. Table office has noted it, and it will be corrected. Thank you very much. Any other comments, honorable members? Thank you very much. Honorable members, it has been moved and seconded that the record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Monday, 1st July 2024, be approved with amendments. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Thank you all. Clerk, may we proceed?
Thank you. Standing Order 51, Matters of the Day. Matter of the day on the prevalence of kush in the Gambia by the Honorable Momodu Lamin Biba, member for Banjul North.
Honorable members, my office is in receipt of a request made by the Honorable Member for Banjul North, seeking permission under Clause 51(1) and 2 of the Standing Orders to make a statement to the Assembly on the prevalence of kush in the Gambia. Honorable members, having considered the request of the Honorable Member under the provisions of Standing Orders Clause 51(3) A, B, C, and D, and 51.5, and noting that the request has satisfied the standing orders provision, I now grant the honorable member leave to make his statement to the Assembly. However, I wish to draw the attention of the honorable members to clause 51.8 of the standing orders, that the time allocated for the matters of the day shall not exceed 3 minutes for the honorable members who may wish to make statements, and the time allowed for the matters of the day is 30 minutes. Therefore, I urge honorable members to observe clause 51.9 of the standing orders for guidance. I now call upon the honorable member to make his statement to the Assembly.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, prevalence of coups in the Gambia, uncovering the dark underbelly of the coups in the Gambia, a call for urgent government intervention. Honorable Speaker, honorable members of the National Assembly, I rise to speak on a very concerning issue, coups, a potent and highly addictive drug, which has become a growing scourge in our beloved nation, the Gambia. The alarming rise in the prevalence of this illicit and toxic substance has not only claimed the lives of countless young people, but has also fueled a disturbing surge in crime and mental health disorders across the country. According to the recent reports, more than 100 coups cases are reported, which include deaths among young users. The distribution and consumption of coups has become deeply entrenched in the Gambia's social fabric, with the criminal networks exploiting the vulnerabilities of the youth and capitalizing on the lack of robust government control mechanisms. The Ministry of Interior, tasked with maintaining law and order, has fallen short in its efforts to cope this growing menace, leaving communities to grapple with the devastating consequences. Honorable Speaker, the recent country situation report shared by the National Task Force for Drug and Substance Abuse, coups on the 24th day of June 2024 exhibit the following. One, firstly, that in the recent 3 weeks, 19 clinical cases have been reported by health facilities, causing a current total of 113 cases, showing a 20% increase. 7 new associated suspected deaths from coups have also been recorded, causing the total to 11, with a case fatality rate of 9.7%. 107 people have been interdicted, the overwhelming majority of whom are Gambians, 73, with an extra 5 new cases recorded. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, 17.486 grams of coups has been confiscated, bringing the total to 6.03 kilograms. Statistics from the publication also shows that the average user of this toxic substance is 22 years of age, which makes up 50% of the cases. The most affected being even younger, from 14 to 23 years of age, who make up 54% of the cases. That is 61 out of 113 cases recognized. It is devastating to see our children as young as 14 subdued to such ordeal. The situation with the drug, that is the coups, is scary, and we need to tirelessly find a solution to get rid of this nightmare. Let us keep in mind that every day that goes by, the use of this substance increases and will get worse if not mitigated immediately. The impact of coups on Gambian society is deeply disturbing. Our young people, often the primary targets of the drug dealers, have succumbed to the loot of substance, leading to a tragic loss of life and potential. Families have been torn apart, and the ripple effect of this crisis has penetrated every facet of Gambian life, from the education system to the workforce. I went around the streets of Banjul to inquire about the disruptive substance, and Honorable Speaker, you will be shocked to hear that the street value of the smallest unit of this toxic substance is $50. $50 is for the life of our youth, Honorable Speaker. $50 is for the mortgage of the future of this country, Honorable Speaker. $50 is the price to tear apart families. Compounding the problem, the surge in coups-related crimes has overwhelmed the country's already strained law enforcement resources. Burglaries, violent assaults, and even murders have become increasingly common as users desperate for their next fix turn to desperate measures. It is undeniable that the use of coups is not only detrimental to the user, but to those around the user as well, tending to make the user violent and delusional. The resulting instability has eroded the sense of safety and security that should be birthright of every Gambian citizen. Moreover, the mental health crisis fueled by coups addiction has placed an immense burden on the country's already overburdened healthcare system. Addiction-related mental disorder, such as anxiety, depression, and psychosis, have become widespread, leaving families and communities struggling to cope with the profound impact on their loved ones. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, in the face of this alarming situation, the Gambian government, through the Ministry of Interior, must act swiftly and decisively to address the coups crisis. They should reinforce surveillances and put pertinent measures in place to discourage the drug trafficking situation in our country by strengthening border controls, especially primary entry points, enhancing law enforcement capabilities, and implementing comprehensive rehabilitation and prevention programs are crucial steps that must be taken to combat this growing menace. We must make the best of efforts and take actions to end this major public health concern. The time for action is now. The future of Gambian youth, the stability of our communities, and the well-being of its citizens depends on the government's ability to confront this crisis head-on. Failure to do so will only lead to the further unraveling of social fabric and the perpetuation of a cycle of addiction, crime, and despair in our beloved country. Honorable Speaker, I will end by challenging the executive to act and resolve this matter. In that case, I submit. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member, for your brilliant and very informative statement. Honorable members, the floor will be open. And as I said, I have a list of members who want to partake in the debate. We make reference. We have more than what we can take, but we will follow it in a chronological order. And each has not more than 3 minutes. We begin with the member for Old Yundum.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. First of all, let me thank my my colleague. Please, I'm talking.
Somebody is calling my attention. Just letting your attention. If you can see, I raised my tag earlier than him, so I'm seeing something happening there. That is not. So I don't know. We are sitting here. I know my tag is before him. So if he come up, I'm trying to say something happened there, and then that is, you know. Yes, honorable member for Olyundum.
Yes, I'm like the Kunda. So you have given me Olyundum. Okay.
No, it's an error, Latikunda.
Okay, but I can have two constituents. That's not a problem because we are borders. What I want to say is Honorable Mbalo, who raised his tag first. So there is stable office corruption there. Because I saw Honorable Mbalo raising his tag before a honorable member for Olyundum. So let Shani explain what happened.
No, Speaker.
Yes, honorable member for Lower Salum.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, I think it's your prerogative to choose anybody to speak. And again, moreover, he's the deputy majority leader of the House. That, I have no problem with it. Yes.
You know, honorable members, why I allowed everybody to talk. I mean, our own standing order specifically talks about that put your tag first. 26 reads, 1, no member except the speaker or chairperson may speak unless called upon to do so by the speaker or chairperson. In deciding who should be called, the speaker or chairperson shall have regard to the nature of the business under consideration. 2, a member shall speak standing. 3, when the speaker or chairperson intervenes during proceedings in the assembly or in the committee of the whole assembly, every other member shall be seated. This is what I used to emphasize. When you're talking, I interject. Don't insist. Immediately the speaker intervenes, take your seat. I will not deny you, just something that I want to do. So, honorable member, it's unfortunate that probably your tag was up, but these people, they were looking, and the first people they see, I hope your name is there. Yeah, your name is there, honorable member for Sabak Sanyal. It's Lower Fladu. Oh, it's Lower Fladu. Honorable members, probably what I will do, we have, so far, we will close it from here. We have 13 names, 1-3. 13 by 3 is 39. It means we are going 9 minutes earlier. Somebody may speak for less than 3 minutes. So those who have written their names, I will try to give all of you the right to speak. So we begin with the honorable member for Olyundum.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Let me thank my colleague for bringing this matter of the day. This is a very important matter for us to discuss in this chamber. As I speak right now, Honorable Speaker, in my constituency, you have about more than 1,000 youth loitering, and they are all vulnerable to the use of kush. And last week, I lost about 2 young people in my constituency as a result of kush as well. And the reason why I am talking is because we came from the urban center. And these places are very big, where you have a lot of young people who are just loitering around without having anything to do, and all they do is, smoking cannabis, using kush and all stuff. So it's important for us to discuss about it. But one thing we need to do as parliamentarians, that is where I want to focus on. We need to do more sensitization. And I know the anti-crime, the police, through the government have been doing a lot of work. They've been going after the young people. All that they will do is to arrest them and take them to, the police stations. But us as representatives, both members of parliament, councillors, and everyone, what we can do is to organize weekend activities and call these young people at a sporting, center and do a massive sensitization. The use of kush is a very dangerous substance. They all know, even if they use it, you know what the result is going to be. So we cannot afford to sit down and allow them to use it just because we want them to die or whatever. Even if they use it, that is what is going to happen at the end of the day. So the sensitization should start with us so that they see the seriousness from the legislative arm of government. We represent the people. We go back to our constituencies and do a massive sensitization. All the figures listed in the speech are accurate, and nobody will deny the fact, because these things are happening. But what can we do? Should we sit and just blame the government for not doing much? No, we also have a responsibility. The responsibility we have is to do more sensitization in our communities. Organized gatherings, young people will come. There are people who are not using it, but there are those who are using it. Those who are not using it, sensitize them more so that they can also sensitize their colleagues. That is how we should extend, these things to move on around the constituency so that, all of them can be aware of the dangers of using kush in our country. You hardly see these people using kush in our communities. You don't see them in the morning. Most of them will come out in the evenings, start using kush. Before the morning, they tell you probably the person is dead or something had happened to him. So the sensitization must start now. Print your banners, go to...
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for All Yundum and Deputy Majority Leader. I now invite the Honorable Member for Janjambure. I now invite the Honorable Member for Latrikunda Sabiji.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. As the matter of the day is put before the National Assembly, I will urge members not to be so emotionally attached to government, because I'm sure no honorable member here will blame government for youths recklessly taking something that kills them. I don't think any honorable member in this House will definitely take that direction. I thank the honorable member for Banjul not for giving me the SONA, the state of affairs, the status quo of the country. Because what is more disappointing is the president has spoken in the SONA. The Ministry of Health could not give the president a simple statement about kush, knowing that the kush is a public health disaster. The Ministry of Youth could not give any statement to the president, knowing that the cream of the users of this drug are youths, and even the Ministry of Interior, because this is a security threat, could not give a simple statement to the president to deliver to the Gambians that Gambian youths are dying because of kush, knowing the kush is a security threat. Now it's just to advise each other. We are all leaders in our various communities. I will urge the WDCs, World Development Committees, because I had the raw material. The most essential raw material for kush is human skeleton. And this human skeleton are from our graves. So the WDCs in our various communities should employ immediately workmen in our graveyards to make sure that youths don't access this particular raw material. I will also urge school teachers. All schools should monitor the behavioral pattern of the students in their schools. When students enter schools, they should not leave school until the end of the day. The more responsibility lies on the parents. We the parents, let's make sure we monitor our kids, and let's make sure our kids don't access to these very dangerous drugs. So for that being the case, Honorable Speaker, I once again thank the mover of the motion for this important moment giving me this SONA. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Latrikunda Sabeye. I now invite the Honorable Member for Fonyi Berefet.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. And I would like to thank my fellow Honorable Member for bringing this problem, which is really disturbing the country. I can say it is not only the Gambia, but the whole Africa. People are complaining about this dangerous drug people are using. But my argument will take me to the parents. As a mother, I feel like Gambians should concentrate and we should try and take responsibilities. We cannot complain, we cannot lodge complaints to the government, but let the parents take their responsibilities. Let the parents be willing to take the responsibility of being a parent. Let us be vigilant. Let us look on our children. We should time them. We know which time they enter in the compound, which time they go out. Because we have been seeing the youth who are using these drugs are Gambians, and some of them came from compounds. They don't come from the bush. They came from different compounds. Let us be vigilant and advise them. Second, what I want people to think about is to sponsor the drug squad. Drug squad, their lives are on risk. You cannot be a drug squad without materials. They don't have mobilities. How can they do this job? This is an alarming problem which is disturbing the country. A country whereby people are suffering. The economic status of the country is very poor. We are not thinking of how to feed ourselves. We are thinking of killing each other. Someone who uses drug will never have sympathy. You will not even have human mind. You only think of how to kill your fellow human being. This is why the Gambia is facing a lot of murder cases in the Gambia. People are using drugs that they don't know what they have manufactured. We don't have a factory which manufactures this drug. They bring it to the Gambia. How can this drug squad do their job? Unless and until we help them with mobility so that they can take care of the border. Honorable Speaker, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Fonyi Berefet. I now invite the Honorable Member for Lower Flood West.
Thank you very much. Speaker, I go straight. We have to understand that landlords, parents, citizens have a role to play in this. And we understand kush is no more being imported. It is made in this country and is made in homes. And then people must be vigilant. If you're thinking that the kush is using the borders to come, we are telling you no. We are in the community and we are investigating. This center to say that surveillance needs to be intensified. And in this particular case, it's not only the security. Every genuine citizen should be on the coast. Every genuine citizen. And like my honorable said, parents must take their responsibility. These people are leaving homes having this attitude. That's why I said, if you say children have right, parents need to have their right to train their kids. That's why we need to go back and look at some of the issues that we bring. Because you cannot say that child have a right and the parent don't have a right and that child need to be molded. The law should come in such a way that parents have also right to mold their children. They should be accounted for not doing what they are supposed to do in their children. Because if you go in the provincial Gambia, unfortunately now, we have not registered much cases there. Because for us, we went and sensitized the youth, engage them in activities, and we make sure, and this is what we are advising for people in the urban areas here. Let them try to make sure that they engage the youth. Representations have a lot of other functions, and one of the functions is to save your people, help them to know what is good and what is bad. We should be agents of change, and I'm telling you, in Lower Fladu, I am the agent of change. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Lower Fuladu. I now invite the Honorable Member for Upper Fuladu.
Anyway, we are neighbors. It's not bad. Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity also to shed light on this particular issue at hand, which is kush. Honorable Speaker, I am on record. In this country, we have so many men, but we have less fathers. The reason why I said that, you cannot be a man if you are not ready to take up the responsibility of a father. You can be a man, but at that time you are not a father. So this is the problem in this country. Look, government of the Gambia is doing a lot as far as combating, these illicit drugs. We all know the anti-crime, the work that they have been doing in this country, the police forces, the government of the Gambia. They have been doing a lot. So many people have been arrested as far as this drug is concerned. But look, I want Gambians to understand one thing. The youths who are using these illicit drugs, some of them are using, but they don't know the danger of these drugs. What we can do as National Assembly members during our recess, I am begging each and every one of us, please let us use our recess as a platform to sensitize our youth in our communities, so that those who are using these drugs, they can desist away from it. Because if you use these drugs, it can cause mental disorders like mania, you can have hypermania, you can have psychosis, depression, schizophrenia. All these are mental disorders that can be related to this drug use. So I urge parents to also step up and also talk to their children. So because the reason why all the time people are blaming government is true. Anything that happens in this country, when it's wrong, is government. When it's right, is government. That is why people are pointing finger on government. But what we can tell government is to make sure that the police forces, they are well equipped, so that wherever those people who are selling these kush, they can be apprehended and then booked for prosecution. And also warning to parents. I want our parents, let them take care of the responsibility of their kids at home, because these children are coming from homes. So if you leave your child to do anything that he or she wants to do, at the end of the day, you want to blame the government. So to me, that's not fair. Honorable Speaker, I thank you so much once again.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Upper Fuladu West. I now invite the Honorable Member for Sabak Senjal.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I was to join my colleagues to also take part in the said motion tabled by the Honorable Member for Banjul North. I think it's high time for us Gambians to do what we call attitudinal change. I think what we need is to change our attitudes towards developing our nation. Because the young people, this is the most important, like he mentioned, it is the cream of our society. And, I would also want us to look at it this way. The government has established what you call a national task force to make sure they combat this situation of coups. But they cannot do it alone. We as members of the society have a role to play. And these people, they come up with recommendations. That is the challenges that are faced by those that are trying to combat the issue of coups. They have very limited resources. So I think the National Assembly is very key, and we have a very important role to play. Let us try to empower those security forces who are also doing this work. You go to drug squad, sometimes they are not armed, and those that they are raiding, these are armed people. These are people with armed, with armed materials, cutlasses and the like. So when you go to effect arrest on them, they fight you. And sometimes you even realize that members of the community will even fight back. They will fight to support these young people. Sometimes these drug officers will go to these, to these points to try to make sure they get these people arrested, and you see that the members of this public will even fight them back instead of helping them to effect arrest on them. So it's very important. Also, they have recommended, according to the task force, they said the issue of the impact of social media surrounding suspected cases. Anything that happens, you put it on social media. Before you realize it, before they are done with their investigation, you are already on social media talking about it. So the suspect will have ways of escaping. These are all ways of combating this issue of coups. So it needs collective collaboration. We all need to put hands on deck to work towards this. Like the Honorable Member for Fuladu said, children, they have their rights. Parents have to protect them. But the parent, in protecting the child...
Member for Kiang West.
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. And I would also love to thank the mover of the motion, Honorable Member for Banjul North. Honorable Speaker, one thing that has to be clear, we cannot, there's nowhere in no society where you can blame parents in combating crimes in the world. Nowhere. Let us not labor much on moralities and looking at issues that are more important to look at. Government has a responsibility, and we have government institutions that monitor crimes, that ensures that we combat crimes in a country. Look, we are seeing everywhere in the world, sons are killing their parents. And when they kill those parents, who takes charge of that cases? It's the government institutions. When sons kill their mothers and their fathers, who takes care of those cases? Is that not a crime? Are we blaming parents for that killing? Look, what we need to do is every parent have right to ensure that you discipline your children. But we are talking about a drug, the substance for which use is a crime. And who is responsible for combating crimes in a country? That is the government. What we could have talked about is to equip the institution that is responsible for monitoring those crimes and make sure that we combat it. And that's the responsibility of the parliament. The task force is already constituted, they don't have resources. What we could have done as a parliament is to allocate resources to them. Each of us are parents at home. We have every right to take care of our children. But the matter for which we are talking about today, we must talk to the government, the agency that is responsible for it, to do the needful. One thing I want to conclude my deliberation about is the youths that are complaining so much. I am fear about the future. We are complaining so much about governance, but I think this country has no future. The youth for which the government, the National Assembly, everyone else, these elders should transfer this country to, are telling us we are not ready to take care of your country. This is a manifestation. These are messages that they are saying to us that youth, we are not ready to hand over, to be handed over this country. It's a manifestation. So I think we the youth have to be responsible enough to leave this substance. It's so damaging and it's going to damage our country. In the next 3 years, we will not have youths who will contest for parliamentary seats because they will all die of course. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Kiang West. I now invite the Honorable Member for Banjul Central.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I would like to congratulate the mover of the motion for bringing forth this very important topic that is plaguing our society. If you look at the statistics mentioned, it's quite alarming. It needs robust government control mechanisms. Just in the recent 3 weeks, 19 people have died due to clinical cases, which amounts to 20% increase, basically. So these are quite alarming. I happen to be in a very hard dilemma as my constituency is currently a drug hub, I would say. So this has really been a plague in my community, and I have been doing my level best to make sure I do my responsibility in contributing towards its curbing by collaborating with youth institutions, by also collaborating with enforcement agencies, among others. A honorable member made mention that during our recess, we should engage in sensitization, but I would say this is apt and that it needs current and fast sensitization to be able to make do with this menace. This has a lot to do with our security sector reform processes, Honorable Speaker, as these substances do not just come from the air. They are brought into this country, and they go through entry points to their end destinations. And the most important thing is that it's also important to highlight that DILIC is really doing a
teaching your kids. You must have their numbers, so that if they are not at home, you should find out where they are. Honorable Speaker, when there is an issue, you know, everybody here is entitled to your opinion. All opinions are right. Anybody who speaks here is your opinion. But when there is an issue going on in a country, whose role is to monitor? Whose role is to monitor and is affecting the youth population? It's the government, Honorable Speaker. It's the government. The government should try to monitor. The government should monitor so as to make stops to that. Because it's affecting our youths that are supposed to be leaders tomorrow. If we lose all those ones, what will happen? None of us here wants our kids to go and leave us here. We all want us to go and leave our kids here. So we must build the future of our youths if we want to have better Gambia. Honorable Speaker, I think even the mover mentioned that the government should try to empower the ministry. Yes, it's try to empower the ministry. That is to provide them mobility so that where these youths come, if they have mobility, they can go and see what type of drugs they are using so that they can make stop to those things. But definitely it's a business for everybody. You cannot rule away government from this problem. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Same. I now invite the Honorable Member for Lower Nyumi.
Good morning, everybody. Honorable Speaker, I will first thank the mover, my neighbor, Honorable for Banjul North. Thank you very much. This is a burning issue of the day. I think it's high time for us to do something. Doing it, we need sensitization. And sensitization, we, the National Assembly members, should be in the lead. Thanks to my constituency of Lower Nyumi. They are not waiting the government. They've just started this sensitization with the leadership of a team called Nyumi Hands and other members, including the traditional leaders with the law enforcement agency. They've started. They are on the go. Thank you very much. With them, they've started going to ghettos and bars, engaging alcalos and other community leaders. This is what should be done. We should not wait for the government, though the government should help. Thank God that in our mix, we have His Excellency the Vice President, and the Honorable Ministers. That means the message has gone, and they will do the needful, inshallah. Thank you very much. So with this, I think we should engage the imams, that is for them to be preaching in the mosque. We should engage the pastors for them to be preaching it in churches. These, I think, will help in the sensitization aspect of it. So therefore, let's pray so that these schools is eradicated in our system, is eradicated in our country at all. So may we help and protect by Allah. Inshallah, this will be eradicated. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Lower Nyumi. I now invite the Honorable Nominated Member, Fatou K. Jawara.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the transition government that has erased the dark cloud in the history of the Gambia has set a lot of reforms. The security sector reform, the constitutional reform, among others. But as citizens, when are we reforming? Honorable Speaker, I am so much disappointed when I heard some members saying that the government need to be blamed about this issue, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, when you were marrying your wife, did you take a permission from the president or the government? When you are giving name to your child, did you take a permission from the government? As a parent, we have a responsibility. We have a responsibility to be soldier. You have to monitor the activity of your children, like as alluded by the member of Fosami. If your child is a smoker, you need to know it. If your child dressed like a gangster, you need to know it. Meet these kids, these children at the street. Meet them at their ghetto. Engage them as game changers, as representative of the people. We are speaking for the voice of the voiceless. Let's engage them. But this is not a blame game. We cannot blame the government for this. Coming to the matter of the day, as mentioned by the member for Banjul, the government inability to perform. Yes, Honorable Speaker, as I just mentioned, Talinding is in the KMC, metropolitan, and KMC is a very densely populated area. But I try to bring a community policing, different youth from different sectors, to map out crime in Talinding, and it was so successful, and I think many National Assembly members can do it. Honorable Speaker, kush, the deadly drug, was, according to research, was originated from a particular country, and record has accounted citizens of that country. So I think in that case, Honorable Speaker, something needs to be done. Despite the ECOWAS protocol on free trade of movement and service and good, we need to see the kind of people that we accept in our society. We should not accept criminals to come and spoil our children. We owe them this. We owe our citizens this. We need to protect them. So those dealing with this drug should not be allowed inside the Gambia to destroy our kids, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, finally, Honorable Speaker, we cannot also say that the government is not helping drug law enforcement agencies. My sister's son happened to be a victim of
Thank you very much, Honorable Nominated Member Fatou K. Jawara. I now invite the Honorable Member for Lower Salum.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving the floor. And may I also give my colleagues to thank the Honorable Member for Banjul for bringing this matter of the day. But, Honorable Speaker, the former Vice President said you cannot make an omelette without breaking the eggs. The same Parliament, 6 legislators, said we cannot arm our security men. The same Parliament. And the same Parliament said we are not going to give vehicles to our security men. If the budget is here, there's no member who will stood up, let's empower the security men. If I say so, you can use the gallery to say it. But in the implementation of the budget of the Committee of All House, there's no particular vehicle is given to them, or arms or ammunition. Yeah, you fight for it, yes? I know. Honorable Speaker, it's the Parliament of the heart of these Gambian people. If the Parliament cannot make it right, nothing will go right. We make it right here. We cannot blame the government on this issue. Because in an area where a drug squad went to a surveillance, all citizens attacking drug squads, my brother, and you said government should take charge. And you being an arm of that constituency, you will never go out and say that your people, stop this. You will join them and fight those security officers. Hey, I'm not talking enough in The issue is, Honorable Speaker, here we will not shake the gallery. Let's do it because if what the member said, the Light Tribunal, he said, let's not afraid people to vote out. Because he is making things right. Because if we are taking decisions, we make bold decisions. But if we are not making decisions that we are afraid of coming back to Parliament, then we will not do things right. And I must salute our security men. They are doing great job. None of us will go there in the night when you are sleeping. We allow our men going out, without nothing. How they can combat this course? Only thing that I want to address is the immigration system to be looked at. How many people are coming in? I have never had anybody deported because of these drugs. Thank you very much, Honorable.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Lower Salum. Honorable members, let me thank the Honorable Member for Banjul North for bringing about this matter of the day, very important matter of the day. And I want to thank you and also thank honorable members who so eloquently debated on this matter, bringing out ways and means of solving this very important national issue. We will therefore, as an institution, urge on all sports clubs, youth leaders, Kabilo heads, village heads, opinion leaders, chiefs, imams, and pastors, right activists, councillors, WCDs, WDCs, VDCs, compound heads, women groups, and all others to participate in this. It is only then that we'll be able to at least curb it. But I think you have eloquently done justice to the whole issue. The beauty of it is you came out with a lot of possible recommendations that could help to avert this situation. Thank you all. We now move. Clerk, may we now proceed?
Questions for oral answers.
Honorable members, as per the order paper and order 41(1) of the standing orders, today is question for oral answers. Furthermore, as a reminder, clause 43 of the standing orders limited supplementary questions to 7 in total, 2 for the honorable member asking the question and 5 among other members. Therefore, we will proceed with His Excellency the Vice President and Honorable Ministers scheduled today to give their oral answers. I thank you all. Clerk, we proceed.
Questions for oral answers by His Excellency the Vice President.
Honorable members, I now invite the Honorable Vice President. Questions for which due notices were given to His Excellency the Vice President by honorable members for oral reply. Question number 120 of 2024. By the honorable member for Fonyi Bintang.
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, could His Excellency the Vice President tell this August Assembly why he is not residing at the Vice President residence in Fajara?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I wish to inform this August Assembly that the residence is currently under rehabilitation.
How soon will the rehabilitation be completed?
Honorable Speaker, I want to inform this August Assembly that actually I will be moving by the end of this month.
Congratulations.
Any supplementary questions? I mean, yes, this is what I'm saying. Yes, honorable member for Fonyi Kansala. Pardon? You have withdrawn. All right, Honorable Latrikunda, you are just saying it.
I'll be through, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Member for Same. Thank you very much, honorable members. We now move question number 121 of 2024 by the honorable member for Fonyi Kansala.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, there still exists ambiguity surrounding the sales of assets of former President Yahya Jammeh. Without clear receipts of sales, no evidence of buyers' names, and the cost of each asset. Could His Excellency, the Vice President, inform this Assembly if the President is ready to set up further inquiries in the sales of the assets, as it is a national concern to the Gambian citizenry in maintaining integrity, credibility of government?
Honorable Speaker, I wish to inform this August Assembly that my office is working in consultation with the Minister of Justice to put forward a comprehensive report as it relates to the sales of the former President Jammeh's assets during and after the sittings of the Commission. On the issue of whether the government is considering an inquiry into the matter, I wish to state that the government is not contemplating any such action for now.
Thank you. Honorable Vice President, it is 2 years questions of such have been raised here. The Minister of Justice could not avail us in details of those requests. How soon would those requests avail to this August Assembly?
Honorable Speaker, I think Honorable Member for Fonyi Council at this point, we are committed to provide a comprehensive report as soon as possible. But in terms of specific time, I don't think I'm in a position to say at this point.
As the Vice President, assets, as the Janet Commission alluded, $1 billion plus. And if you look at various cars like Rolls-Royce, can you tell us the total cost compared to the assets that we have sold?
No, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker. Order.
Yes, Deputy Speaker.
Honorable Speaker, the question the Honorable Member asking as a supplementary question is a substantive question.
Indeed, it is substantive. You are asking monies that don't fall under the purview of the Vice President. I now invite the Honorable Member for Fonyi Bintang Karanai.
Thank you. Your Excellency, why is it difficult to produce the name of the buyers of the assets?
Honorable Speaker, as I said, it's not difficult to name the buyers of the assets, but as I said, a comprehensive report will be prepared and shared. I think at that point, we'll know all the details. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Fonyi Jarol.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Vice President, can you please inform this National Assembly how many assets of Jammeh are now left?
Honorable, there should be no observation on that. That is substantive. You have rights to put up these questions. Please. Honorable Member for Bakau.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Your Excellency, you've indicated that your office is in consultation with the Office of the Minister of Justice If I am to put it to you that the consultation should have been done earlier than now, what will you say to that?
Honourable Speaker, I think the honourable member is assuming that the consultation is just starting now, and that's not the case. We have always been consulting on this issue.
Question number 122 of 2024 by the Honourable Member for Latrikunda Sabiji.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker, for giving me the floor. Mr. Vice President, Honourable Speaker, we have presidential advisors and special presidential advisor. Could His Excellency, the Vice President, explain to this August Assembly what are the roles, duties, and responsibilities of special presidential advisor and advisor different from presidential advisors?
Honourable Speaker, I wish to inform this August Assembly that special presidential advisors perform many duties and act as personal confidant to His Excellency the President and also advise the President on technical and administrative matters, whilst presidential advisors perform specific duties.
Thank you very much. I want the Vice President to tell us whether, before appointing presidential advisors, especially special presidential advisors, whether they do perform mental, check.
No, Honourable. Honourable Speaker.
No, we're on.
No.
What's wonderful?
Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker.
Yes, somebody is. Huh? Yes, Honourable Member for Sami.
Very much, Honourable Speaker, for the floor. I just want you to recognize that whoever wants to say anything must say point of order.
Which proceedings? Honourable, I thought you were rising to a point of order. Yes, who is rising? Anybody? Somebody was shouting. Who was rising to a point of order? Who? Deputy Speaker. Yeah. Okay, honourable members, please, when you want to make a point of order, you rise up and I will grant you permission. And you will make reference to the relevant standing orders that you are making the order on. Nobody will be denied to make a point of order. It means we are going out of order, and we should also always try to be in order. Please, note that. And as I said, let's not giggle at each other too much. Please, allow people to say what they want to say, and then you can come up and then say what you want to say. Please. So we now continue. Yes, Honourable Vice President.
Point of order, Honourable Speaker.
Who is writing to a point of order? Yes, Honourable nominated member, Keba Lamfofona.
Honourable Speaker, I'm rising on 38G. 38G. G. A question shall not be asked for the purpose of abstaining an expression of opinion, the solution of an abstract case, or the answer to a hypothetical proposition. The honourable member was asking an opinion based on emotions. And it doesn't have any bearing to the substantive question that was asked. Honourable Speaker, Honourable Speaker, I'm taking offense on...
Honourable, can you just hold on, please?
38.
You made reference to 38 G.
D, rest.
For the purpose of obtaining expression of opinion. Can you continue? Finish your distinct.
Honorable Speaker, I've made that submission, and based on that, I'm proposing that the question of the honorable member be overruled. And additionally, Honorable Speaker, I'm taking offense on the statement uttered by the Honorable Speaker. He's telling me that is not true. He's telling me that is not true when I was raising on my point of order.
Who is saying
all
that?
honorable members here seated.
Who was saying that?
Honorable Larikunda Sabili. I don't expect that from him. Let's try to respect each other. Thank you.
Honorable members, just before the honorable nominated member took the floor, I tried so that we can all caution ourselves as representatives, responsible people, responsible for the welfare of this country. We should put aside personal issues, grudges. We should be independent and Gambia first. If the honorable member had said that, it's very unexpected of him. Responsible honorable members should not behave that way. As regards the point of order, it is clear that you cannot seek for opinions, personal opinions of individuals when you are posing your question. In that light, we will rule it out. Can you continue? Who else? Yes? You have one more supplement. Please go ahead.
Honorable Vice President, thank you very much. Are you also aware the special presidential advisor is bringing so much disrepute to the office of the president?
Point of order, Honorable Speaker. Point of order.
Honorable nominated member.
I'm still rising on 38J, and I'll read. A question shall not be asked for the purpose of obtaining an expression of opinion, the solution of an abstract case, or the answer to a hypothetical proposition. The honorable member is asking for the personal opinion of the Vice President. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
If I understand the question of the honorable member for Latrikunda Sabiji, it is that, is the Vice President aware of the special advisor bringing in a lot of disrepute? Yes, the Vice President can answer that. He is aware or he is not aware. That's the question.
Honorable Speaker, I wish to inform the honorable member that I am not aware of any disrepute brought to the office. Thank you.
Honorable member for Fonyi Bintang.
Honorable Speaker, I withdraw.
Honorable member for Talinding Kunyang.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. His Excellency in his response mentioned that the special presidential advisor has specific functions while the presidential advisor has main functions. What are these specific functions and these main functions?
Speaker, I don't think that is what I said. I said this presidential advisor has specific functions.
Honorable members, please allow the Honorable Vice President to talk.
Honorable Speaker, I'm sure this August Assembly is aware that special advisors have some tasks like youth advisor, political advisor, etc. Those are the specific functions.
Honorable Member for Bakau.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I may have a similar question to that of Honorable Member for Talending. Your Excellency, when we talk of special advisors and advisor, what are basically the special advices that are given to the President that is not given by an ordinary advisor?
Honorable Speaker, I refer to my earlier response. The special advisors are given many duties and act as personal confidant to the President. But the advisors are just specific in terms of youth, political, etc. That's what I said. Thank you.
I think that's clear. Honorable Member for Fonyi Kansala. Pardon? Huh? Okay. What happened? Why did you write me?
Lower Salon.
Honorable Member for Lower Salon.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. Honorable Speaker, on his questions, the Vice President explained to this August Assembly what are the role and duties and responsibilities of the special presidential advisors. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Vice President, are you aware that any monies that is allocated by the National Assemblies, because it is paid by the function and the duties of that particular person, this is why you are paid, and the same National Assembly who paid this special advisor. Are you aware of that?
Honorable Speaker, with due respect, can you repeat, because I'm not clear about the question.
The member is asking the duties and the responsibility of the special advisor. And nobody is paid from government coffers without the duty and the responsibility, whereby the National Assembly can take and pay you. Are you aware whether the National Assembly pays from the government coffers of these special advisors?
Point of order.
Who is rising to a point of order?
Sabak Sanyal.
I'm rising on order 43.4. A supplementary question shall not be in order if it introduces matters not included in the original question and the answers provided. The question that was asked has nothing to do with the payment of those advisors. And the Honorable Member is asking the Vice President whether he is aware that those special advisors are paid from monies that are approved by the National Assembly. I submit.
I want to agree with you that it's almost substantive.
No.
Question number 123 of 2024 by the Honorable Member for Bundunga Kunda. I'm aware that he has dedicated the Honorable Member for Talending to read the question on his behalf.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I read the question on behalf of Honorable Alhaji Suleiman Jammeh, Member for Latakunda Saviji, Bundunga Kunda. Honorable Speaker, could His Excellency, the Vice President, inform this August Assembly about the level of readiness of the National Disaster Management Agency in terms of implementing measures to prevent flooding in vulnerable areas like Bundung, Talinding, Nemakunku, etc., before the commencement of the rainy season?
Honorable Speaker, I wish to inform this August Assembly that the preparatory activities for the 2024 rainy season have commenced. As the National Disaster Management Agency, in collaboration with partners, is implementing short-term measures to mitigate potential flooding. This includes the Waka project under the Ministry of Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources, which is currently undertaking manual excavation of the Kotu stream to maintain its natural contour.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. The question talks about Talinding, Nemakunku, and Bundung. When you talk about measures, you've just mentioned about Kotu. What are specific measures have you put in place for Talinding and Bundung?
Honorable Speaker, as I said, as directed, actually I directed before I traveled, I directed the Disaster Management Agency and some members of the subcommittee to go around and visit, and all of those places were visited, including Talinding, and a report has been submitted.
They have visited. Thank you for the very visit. But the question is about the measures they are implementing. After visiting, what are they implementing now to prevent the flood?
Honorable Speaker, like I said, they have visited and they have submitted a report to me. And as you are aware, I've just returned from the pilgrimage last week, and since then I'm with you most of the time. But they have also presented a budget, which we are working on to make sure that they implement.
Honorable Member for Latrikunda Sabiji.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. Vice President, thank you very much for your response. I want to confirm whether the government has a plan to relocate all the victims on the disaster-prone areas. That stretches from Joswang, Talinding corridor, Fajikunda corridor up to Abuko. Do your government has plan to relocate them? Because otherwise, every year we are going to be talking about a disaster around that area. Thank you very much.
Honorable Speaker, point of order.
Yes, Honorable nominated member Keba Lang Fofana.
I'm rising on 43.4. A supplementary question shall not be in order if it introduces matters not included in the original question and the answers provided thereof. Honorable Speaker, the original question was specific about Talinding, Nemakunku, and Bundu. And the responses provided by the Vice President only brought the addition of Joshua. The Honorable Member is asking about Abuko and other places, which are new matters added to the question. On that basis, I submit for his supplementary question to be declined. Thank you.
Yes, it must be relevant to the principal question. Though in your supplementary, you talked about Talinding, which is part of it, but Jeswang and Abuko were never part of it. And therefore, we will have to rule out your question.
Speaker.
Yes, specifically.
I'm withdrawing Talinding, Abuko, and other places. Let him answer.
Honorable, you have only a chance. You have asked it and it's put out of order. If you want to do that, anybody who is put out of order will want to come back and then reframe his question. Honorable Member for Serekunda.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I would like to ask the Vice President whether these temporary measures also include disaster response team in the disaster-prone areas.
Honorable Speaker, I want to confirm yes.
Honorable Member for Bakau.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Your Excellency, you've indicated that a report has been submitted to you. Can we share some of the recommendations of that report?
Honorable Speaker, as I said, the report has been submitted to me, but I didn't say I've read it because I've just returned from the pilgrimage. Thank you.
Question number 124 of 2024 by the Honorable Member for Janjambure.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you very much the Vice President. Honorable Speaker, the executive informed the public about the purchase of 100 vehicles for the just concluded summit of the OIC through a pre-financing agreement with Mohammed Jah, owner of East Space Motors. However, it is understood that only 89 vehicles were handed over to the government. Could His Excellency the Vice President clarify to this August Assembly how many vehicles were received from East Space Motors, the nature of the signed contract, and provide evidence agreement signed between the government of the Gambia and East Space Motors with tender documents and GPPA approvals that were sought?
Honorable Speaker, I wish to inform this August Assembly that 100 executive vehicles were earmarked to be purchased for the OIC summit. However, the total number of vehicles was reduced to 89 due to changes in specifications of vehicles to be used by the heads of state, which had cost implications.
Honorable Vice President, I think you left part of my question not being answered. What about the agreement and the contracts? Will you be ready to share it with this August Assembly?
Honorable Speaker, as you are one thing I can confirm is the contracts we have signed through the Minister of Finance with DPP approval. And I think maybe through the relevant committees, you can access that from the Minister of Finance.
Honorable Vice President, this time I am not asking the Ministry of Finance to provide me with these information. However, I am asking if the Office of the Vice President will be in a position to provide us with this relevant information.
Honorable Speaker, like I said, the information is with the Office of the Minister of Finance. As a Vice President, I am the one that chaired the board that made these decisions. That's why I'm in a position to provide these answers. But all the documents are with the Minister of Finance. They are not in my office.
Honorable Member for Latrikunda Sabiji.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Vice President, when we are the OIC, there was this strategic resource mobilization put in place. Countries like Qatar, if I can remember, and Mauritania are supposed to give us vehicles for free. Why do we purchase vehicles when those countries promise to give us vehicles for free? What happened to that promise?
Honorable Speaker, I want to inform this August body that yes, there were lots of promises made, but most of those promises were not fulfilled. I want to also use this occasion to thank the government of the Islamic Republic of Mauritania that actually loaned us 100 vehicles, not loan, actually, they provide assistance of 100 vehicles that we use for the OIC, and they were returned after the OIC. In fact, for your information, the number of vehicles required for the whole process was over 400 vehicles that were required. We got 100 that they gave us from the Islamic Republic of Mauritania, and we also hired, the OIC Secretary hired some vehicles also, plus these 100 vehicles that were bought by through the government budget, through a pre-financing agreement, as has been mentioned. 89.
Honorable Member for Bakau. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Your Excellency, how was this arrangement of pre-financing done by the government that led to Mohammed Jah winning the contract?
Honorable Speaker, and I think I will refer to it was the same question that the honorable question asked about the contract. The contract, all of these were tendered, and part of the requirement was a pre-financing requirement. That was part of the tender that was submitted by the Minister of Finance, because the Minister of Finance did not have the resources to buy at that particular point. So whoever wins will confirm that they are going to pre-finance the purchase of that. But like I said, all the documents are with the Minister of Finance, with GPP approval.
Honorable Member for Fonyi Bintang.
Your Excellency, you said the Islamic Republic of Mauritania. Is it borrowed or rented, the vehicles?
Honorable Speaker, we did not rent it. They gave it to us for use, after which they took the vehicles back to Mauritania.
Honorable Member for Sabak Sanjal.
I withdraw. It was a similar question. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Banjul Central.
Honorable Speaker, I did not raise my tag.
This is the second time that people are saying it, and I'm asking the table office. He's saying that they saw your tag up.
No, it must have been a mistake. I did not raise my tag.
Okay, thank you. Question number 125 of 2024 by the Honorable Member for Janjambure.
Honorable Speaker, in his State of Nation address and subsequently during the nationwide tour in 2022, His Excellency the President of the Republic made a public pronouncement that the government will create 150,000 jobs. Could His Excellency the Vice President update this August Assembly how many jobs the government has created in specific areas and inform us of policy options also in place or being considered to create more employment opportunities in rural areas, including Janjambure, my very constituency, in an effort to curb rural-urban migration?
Honorable Speaker, I wish to inform this August Assembly that the 150,000 jobs pronouncement was based on the target set by the National Employment Policy and Action Plan 2022-2026. However, government's role is to create the enabling environment, and it's for the private sector-led job creation.
Honorable Vice President, I'm not really getting happy with your answers. Notwithstanding, is it not your government's responsibility to collect data and also analyze that very data, more especially on issues of this kind, to better help inform the public on some of the progresses you are making, more especially around employment?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I concur with the Honorable Member that it is our role as a government to collect the data. But unfortunately, at this point, we don't have the data. I know that the Minister of Trade, Industry and Employment, they are in the process of trying to put that in place. But at this point in time, it is not available. But yes, you are right. It's our responsibility to monitor how many jobs are created by the private sector based on the policies that we have put in place. Thank you.
Honorable Vice President, if I may suggest that the current government is not prioritizing the employment of young people in this country, what will be the take of your office? Thank you.
Honorable Speaker.
Yes, please. Deputy Speaker.
Yeah, Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Member is seeking a personal opinion of the Vice President. And in fact, the question he is asking is not under the docket of the Vice President.
Honorable, what are you standing up on?
On point of order. Order 43.
Honorable Deputy. All right. Are you seeking an opinion, Honorable Deputy Speaker?
No. On point of order, Honorable Speaker. 38G, on point of order. The question the Honorable Member is asking is in effect seeking an opinion
and also on 43 is not under the docket of His Excellency the Vice President.
Yes. I have said it here over and over. I think we have made rulings on asking personal opinions. If that was the question. And I think in a related question, the Honorable Vice President responded that that specific documentations and areas were with the relevant institutions, and if need be, reference be made to them. We now move to the Honorable Member for Fonyi Bintang Karanai.
Thank you. Your Excellency, the Vice President, when will we have the data for the jobs that are created, please?
Honorable Speaker, like I said earlier on, I know that the Ministry of Trade and Industry, they are working on it, but at this point, I cannot say when. But they are trying to develop software that will be able to monitor jobs that are created based on government policy environment that enables the private sector to create the jobs. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Latrikunda Sabiji.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. Vice President, thank you very much for your answers. I want us to establish, is government responsible for creating jobs or to give an enabling environment for job acquisition? Let's be very clear about that.
Honorable Speaker, like I said earlier on, government's rules is to create the enabling environment for job creation. That is why when businesses come, we try to give them all kinds of tax rebates to enable them to create the jobs that are required for this country. As you are aware, the only jobs that government can create are in the public service, and that is very limited. So most of the jobs that are required for our economy are supposed to be coming through the private sector. And it's our role to make sure that we make it easy for the private sector to create those jobs. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Member for Banjul Central.
Honorable Speaker, I withdraw. My question has been answered.
Thank you very much. Honorable Member for Bakau.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Your Excellency, the question is talking about how many jobs that are being created. To be specific, we want to know, please.
Honorable Speaker, I repeat, like I said, at this point in time, the Ministry of Trade Industry, they don't have the facility to monitor that. Although they are trying to build up the system to be able to monitor that, but at this point in time, it's not available. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Fonyi Kansala.
Thank you, Vice President. A pronouncement was made. You are now saying the ministry responsible has no facility to monitor. What can you tell the Gambian people as per a little number of creation?
Honorable Speaker, again, I repeat, if the facility is not there to monitor, I cannot be here to say that this is what we have done. All right, this is the point. Unless that system, they are already working on it, but the system has not been finalized. So in which case, they cannot be in a position to tell you these are the jobs that are created based on our policies.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Vice President, for ably responding to honorable members' questions. Honorable members, we proceed simply. Clerk, may we proceed?
Questions for oral answer. Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy.
May I now invite the Honorable Member for Petroleum and Energy to take the floor. Honorable members, questions for which due notices were given to the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy by honorable members for oral answers. Question number 146 of 2024 by the Honorable Member for Nyamina Dankunku.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, on August 21st, 2023, a disputed cargo loading 36,935.614 metric tons of petroleum products at a value of $30 million US, landed at the shore of our Gambian's water. Could the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy inform this August Assembly where this product was offloaded and stored, and how the sales of this petroleum product was conducted?
Honorable Speaker, GAM Petroleum received gas oil that originated from Turkmenistan, according to the certificate of origin submitted to the depot from cargo as follows. Gas oil discharged in the name of Apogee. Date on the 21st of May, 2023. Tanker vessel, and the vessel name is MT Pericles, with a total quantity delivered at the depot of about 14,338 metric tons of diesel, that's gas oil. And on the 1st of August, 2023, another vessel named MT Bruno delivered 9,485.830 metric tons of gas oil. And on the 1st of September 2023, another tanker vessel, MT Baldo, delivered 5,646.67 metric tons, totaling to 29,473.763 metric tons of diesel. The selling of product was conducted entirely by the international trader and not by the depot, that's GAM Petroleum. It is the trader who issues release order for the buyer or the buyers. These are the oil marketing companies on the quantity to be purchased. It is also important to note that this trading takes place in the tanks based on the bonded warehouse concept.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, you said the sale was released by the international trader itself. Does this match with our laws in the country? Because if the trader himself brings the petroleum product in the country and sells this entire product in the country without your ministry or even paying tax, how would you relate it to our laws in this country?
Honorable Member, there's an existing policy in place which is in line with the Petroleum Act that allows international oil traders to bunker their stock at the depot. And this stock, because the depot is now considered as the border, according to the existing policy. So the fuel is stored at the depot for a period of 30 days in which this trader would not pay the throughput charge to the depot, but after 30 days, then it starts attracting throughput charge. The tax that is being paid is paid by the OMCs. These are the oil marketing companies. When they buy the stock from the trader and at the distribute in country, they pay tax to GRA for the product that is being stored at the depot. But the policy, and as per the Petroleum Act, the international oil traders are not supposed to pay the tax when they store their products at the border. And that's the existing policy in place.
Any more, Honorable Member? No. I now invite the Honorable Member for Lower Saloon.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. And Honorable Speaker, Honorable Minister, there is a written document, a policy document from Pura that says this says 36,000 metric tons. That was illegal trading of fuel products. Are you aware of that? which we have evidence of that.
Thank you, Honorable Member. If the Honorable Speaker will allow me, we earlier received a parliamentary question that is also related to the question that you are asking, and we've provided a response to that. And if you can give me the opportunity, Honorable Speaker, then I will read. Yeah. So, but in response to that, there were two other companies, not actually the international trader, but another company that's registered in the Gambia, but it's not an oil trading company. But unfortunately, when they applied for a trading license, or no, what is called a license for the trading, to do import of oil, what is petroleum products into the country, when they applied to PURA, normally it's a requirement for them to submit their financial statement. So when they did the submission to PURA, PURA found out that they were already trading. There are funds that have been, that are in their financial statement that is showing that they are trading in petroleum product. And they have no license. So PURA had already taken the necessary administrative steps. And this is still ongoing, and PURA as a regulator is handling this one. The company that brought stock at the depot is Apogee. But the other two companies that went, that applied for trade, petroleum product license are not actually having the import license, and they found out that they were really trading in the product, and that was illegal in terms of PURA's regulatory, what is called requirements.
Honorable Member for Janjambure.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Minister, let me seize this opportunity to congratulate you. However, in your response that you provided, you said there was a company that was found without an import license, and there was a legal notice finding them wanting. Can you inform this August Assembly what steps have your ministry take in regulating that particular issue? Thank you.
Thank you very much. As I said earlier, the responsibility to regulate that aspect is currently being handled by PURA. They haven't come up with any recommendation to the ministry yet. They are still handling the matter, and based on the update, PURA is still pursuing the matter. And the companies that have applied for the license have not been issued for the fact that they have found them wanting, and they are still pursuing the matter. So unless we receive the final recommendation from PURA, I will not be in a position right now to give you a response to that.
Honorable Member for Latrikunda Sabiji.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. Honorable Minister, thank you very much for answering to our questions. I just want to confirm, the last time I checked, all the 3D surveys, airborne surveys, and seismic surveys conducted are favorable that we have some oil in the Gambia. What are the preparations at the upstream level to explore this oil?
Substantive.
Honorable Speaker.
No point of order. He himself knows that it's substantive.
I'm on my leg, Honorable Speaker.
No, you,
okay.
No, you are not. Yeah,
no,
when the speaker,
Honorable Speaker, they mentioned.
Honorable Member, I just read a point. I read a standing order, a clause of the standing order to you. When the speaker intervenes, take your seat. Honorable, myself, I'm observing that that's substantive. That is substantive. That's the ruling. Honorable Member for Olyundu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, I just wanted you to confirm. The member wrote a figure of 36,935, 614 metric ton, and you provided 29,473 kind of metric ton. Just for confirmation, are you telling us that the 36,000 is not accurate?
Maybe I will not say it's not accurate, but based on the records that we have from the depot, it's 29,473, 763 metric ton. That's what we have in our records from the depot.
question number 147 of 2024 by the Honorable Member for Fonyi Bintang.
Honorable Speaker, could the Minister for Petroleum Energy inform this August Assembly when will the remaining villages in my constituency have electricity? Example, Jakoy Sibik, Bita, Upert, Sikon, Sita, Jako, Nyanjit, Denelo, Fasinjai, Jilembe, Kaireman Jamfa, and Jakoy Bintang.
Honorable Speaker, these villages are not covered under the ongoing electrification projects. However, they have been identified and included in the list of outstanding villages to be electrified before the end of 2025. Funding is being sought to launch the project before the end of 2025, inshallah.
Thank you, thank you.
Honorable Member for Fonyi Bintang, I'm hearing a lot of thank you, thank you, thank you. The answer seems to be you seem to be very happy with the answer. No, any supplementary? No. Supplementary. Honorable Member for Sabak Sanyal.
Thank you very much. Honorable Minister, in your answer, you mentioned that those villages are part of the villages that are already identified for electrification. Is that specific in Fonyi Bintang Karanai or is it nationwide?
No, I am responding to his question. So if there are other questions from other members, then I will respond appropriately.
Question number 148 of 2024 by the Honorable Member for Banjul North.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, knowing the situation of the low water pressure in the city of Banjul, could the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy inform this August Assembly what immediate measures has the ministry put in place to address this pressing concern? Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, Banjul's water supply is sourced from Serakunda. However, the rapid population growth within the supply zones from Serakunda water treatment plant has led to a noticeable decline in service delivery. This issue is further compounded by aging infrastructure and storage facilities. Furthermore, 2 of the elevated water storage tanks, that is Albion 1 and 2, are currently decommissioned, exacerbating the service delivery issues in Banjul. Nonetheless, works to enhance the water supply and improve service delivery in both Serakunda and Banjul are ongoing. These works are being implemented through the World Bank funded project, that's the Gambia Electricity Restoration and Modernization Project. Under that project, we have funding for water supply component. And the French Development Agency also is supporting us, which is under the WASIP project. The improvement measures include: 1, drilling of deep sand aquifer boreholes in Serakunda to boost water production, replacement of all transfer pumps and associated electrical control systems at both Serakunda and Mile 2 pumping stations, construction of additional storage facilities, and replacement of all dilapidated elevated storage tanks in both Serakunda and Banjul. The World Bank funded project is under implementation, whereas the WASIP project is currently at an advanced stage of procurement and is expected to be completed by end 2025.
Honorable Speaker, I think that was okay. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Talinding Kunjang.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. in the Honorable Minister's statement, he mentioned, he attributed some of the challenges on aging infrastructure. I would want him to inform the August Assembly if there are any plans at the level of the ministry to change or rehabilitate all those changing.
And the answer is yes. I've already indicated that we'll be constructing storage facilities and also replacing the old and dilapidated elevated storage tanks in both Serekunda and Banjul.
Honorable Member for Serekunda.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Could the Honorable Minister tell us where in Serekunda is the drilling of deep aquifer borehole taking place?
When we say Serekunda, it's the well-filled area, not necessarily within the town of Serekunda, but that is the catchment area where we have our water treatment facilities. So the identification of the deep aquifer boreholes would be done by the contractors when the contracts are signed, before the signing of the contract, sorry. And these places are going to be identified. The studies are ongoing, and the areas for these boreholes to be drilled would be identified. And we'll get support from the Minister of Water Resources to be able to identify the right places. Because you know why we are doing this deep aquifer boreholes? It's because Serekunda area is a built-up area, and some of the boreholes that we have there now are currently being contaminated. With the nitrite content is very high, and we have to decommission some of them. So this is the other option that we wanted to now utilize so that we can solve the water problem within the Greater Banjul area.
Honorable Member for Sani Mentre.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I withdraw.
Honorable Minister, let me remind you, you have only 2 minutes to respond to supplementary questions. Not more than 2 minutes. I now invite question number 149 of 2024 by the Honorable Member for Jara Central.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for admitting my question. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy inform this August Assembly why the following communities in my constituency, Jara Central, were left out during the recent concluded electrification survey exercise within the said constituency? Viz. Sasita Toranka, Medina Sasita, Digante, Sare Bulli, and Sare Omar. Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, these communities have not been included in the ongoing electrification project due to funding issues, but they have now been identified and included in the list of the outstanding villages for future projects. Government has started engaging its partners for support in providing access to electricity for these communities before December 2025.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. No further supplementary question.
Yes, the Honorable Member for Sani Mentre.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, the outstanding villages that you've just mentioned about the areas that were not electrified, specifically, is Sani Mentre constituency, or is it entirely the country which is also part of it? Can you tell us specifically?
Honorable, that is unfortunately is substantive questions. Honorable Member for Sabak Sanjar.
Thank you very much. Honorable Minister, would you provide us with the list of those villages that are already identified, which are not included in the initial project?
Substantive.
Honorable Speaker, he made mention of this in his delivery, in his answer. It's not substantive.
The principal question was specific to 5 villages, and then the minister's response to those 5 villages were given. You going around to include probably Sabak Sanjal. You you will find your this thing together. You know, some of these things, you remember, the minister is here prepared for the question, not for other information that he will bring along with him. Question number 150 of 2024 by the Honorable Member for Lower Salem.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. Honorable Speaker, could the Minister of Petroleum and Energy inform this August Assembly whether the Ministry can confirm if there is a financial intelligence report on Creek Energy, Apogee FSC for the trading of an amount of 37 metric tons of petrol products in the Gambia? If yes, we want to establish the origin of the vessels and the proper documentation of when the vessels anchored in the Gambia.
Honorable Speaker, regarding whether there is a financial intelligence report, neither the Ministry nor Gambia Petroleum is in a position to confirm any financial intelligence report, as we are not in custody of any. Honorable Speaker, regarding the second part of the question, Gambia Petroleum received gas oil that originated from Turkmenistan, according to the certificate of origin, which is submitted to the depot. And the cargo is as follows. On the 21st of May, 2023, tanker vessel MT Pericles, 14,338.26 metric ton was delivered at the depot. On the 1st of August 2023, tanker vessel MT Bruno delivered 9,483.830 metric tons of gas oil. And on the 1st of September 2023, tanker vessel MT Baldo delivered 5,646.67 metric tons. The total delivered is 29,473.763 metric tons.
Honorable Speaker, yes, on my supplementary, if we want the proper documentation of these said vessels to be provided by to this August Assembly.
Noted. Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, if I can move a motion so whereby there will be a parliamentary inquiry on these particular issues, because it's a matter of concern for Gambian people.
You cannot move a motion now. You may be able to move a motion at the appropriate time, anytime. Honorable nominated member Keba Langfofana.
Honorable Speaker, for the purpose of clarity, the original question indicates the trading of an amount of 37 metric tons, whereas the answers provided gave us in excess of 29,000 metric tons. Can the minister do the correlation for us? Is he answering to the same question, or are there mistakes somewhere? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member. We are responding, giving figures that we have with us. We cannot deny the figures that have been mentioned by the Honorable Member, but based on the documents that we have, is what we are reporting. Thank you.
Honorable members, you please raise your tax, because when I move, we will not come back. Honorable member for Janjambure.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Minister in your response, you did said your office or your ministry was not privileged to the FIU report. What will be your take in a situation where an evidence is provided that FIU reported this very matter to your ministry? Thank you.
I'll be happy to have access to that report. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Sani Mentoring.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, based on your response with regards to the 29,473.76 metric tons delivered, when the questionnaire is talking about 37 metric tons, as alluded by one honorable member, did you at any point in time, by your ministry, try to find out what happened to the balance of the metric tons which were not directly delivered and which are not mentioned? Thank you.
Honorable, thank you, Honorable Member. The 37,000 metric ton mentioned in the question is what I could not confirm, and the ministry cannot confirm those figures. The figures we can confirm are the figures that we got from the depot where the fuel is being stored. And other than that, we cannot report where else. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Nyamina Dankunku.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, what would you say if I tell you the vessel that you're talking about, original destination was Ghana, but when it couldn't meet the criteria of Ghana, then an arrangement was made for it to be to come to Gambia?
Well, I am not aware of that information, and that's news to me. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Lower Salum.
On these particular issues. You know, the essence of members...
Sorry, what did you say?
I just want to observe.
Observe what?
On the proceedings.
No,
you please allow me, please.
No, Honorable, you observe something. I don't know. Are you going to make a point of order, or you observe somebody is talking about something, somebody is talking and he gives you a chance. But just to sit down and say, I want to make an observation, you don't do that. The proceedings, that it means if the proceeding is not going well, you stand up to a point of order. If we allow people to be making observations, we will spend nights here. You either observe somebody speaking and he sits down, or if you think it is critical that we are going outside or we are not going well, you stand up to a point of order. Question number 151 of 2024 by the Honorable Member for Lower Nyumi.
Honorable Minister, congratulations to you in your position. It is a very, very important ministry. And looking at the fact that this rural electrification project, all of us are hungry to see that the entire country is electrified. Honorable Speaker, the rural electrification has kick-started, but my constituency of Lower Nyumi has only few villages erected with electric poles. Could the Honorable Minister of Petroleum and Energy inform this August Assembly about the whole lot of the remaining villages that needed extension in my constituency?
Honorable Speaker, poles are already erected in 8 villages in this constituency, and construction of low voltage network has been fully completed in 2 communities. For the remaining villages, the low voltage taking is ongoing, which is expected to be completed before end of August this year, and pole erection also to commence. The table below outlines the communities that are covered in the ongoing project in this particular constituency. 1, Bara is covered. 2, Jinoy, Amdalai, Fas Njaga Choy, Kerjata, Medida Sotokoy, Welingara, Leona, Nyogon, Mbuletba, Kanuma, Eseo, Bunyadu, Berending, Kerwali, Ndofan, Ndungu Kebe, Jamajen, Mbaletinding, Kerjandi, Misranding, and Mbakam. So I think you should applaud us. We are making a lot of inroads.
Honorable Member for Lower Nyomi, any supplementary?
Yes, thank you very much. I will, as you rightly said, applaud you. But out of 66 villages, how many you've mentioned? It's a few. 66 villages. It's a large constituency. So it is difficult for you to survey a village, skip 2-3 villages, and survey that other one. It's a problem to me. They will keep calling me. Just this morning, I have a call from a village called back in the Koto, Senchu Aliu, Senchu Yore, Kertubei, okay. Another Bakidik, that is the Bakidik, beside Hakalang Highway, Kerbiji, Keryoro, Bangali, Kolikunda, Yalal, and Kertubei. Kertubei is the village where your former secretary is living. Definitely, we need help with these constituencies. If not, I will have a problem. They will be just, they will be just calling me every day. How about our village? How about our village? You forget us. They don't know the trend. They don't know the project, how the project goes. Honorable Minister, can you please help?
Honorable, we are in this together. As a government, I think the priority, or one of the top priorities for us today in terms of ministry, is a task that has been given to us by His Excellency to say that he wants this country to be fully electrified by the end of 2025. And that's a task that we have committed ourselves to. Both the National Assembly and the central government are in this together. We want to see a real change in the lives of our people. And to achieve that, even though as a small country, the rate at which we are going, we are very optimistic that we'll be singled out among all West African countries to be among the first countries to achieve universal access, even before the UN declaration by 2030. So we are in this together. All efforts are in place to make sure the remaining communities countrywide are covered by the end of 2025. That's our commitment, and we will not relent. Thank you.
Oh, good to hear that, and thank you very much again. Okay, you're saying that there is a task. With that task, you're doing good, definitely. But how about you wait until everybody is covered so that you put on everybody so that all of us can enjoy it together at one time before the end of 2025?
Honorable, I'm sorry to say this, but I think development is a process. You cannot do that. It's not possible. So what we're going to do is going to be a process. We'll do the phases that are ongoing. When they are ready, we commission them. You see, there is an effect. If those communities, they have electricity, even those don't have electricity, will even start benefiting. They'll have access, but indirect access. We don't have to wait until we have funds to electrify everyone by 2025 for people to start benefiting from the electricity that we have. So I think it will make sense for us to do that, and definitely that's what we are going to do. We'll commission the ones that are ready whilst we are making efforts to bring the others. It's a gradual process. We're in this together, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Keep up the momentum.
Honorable, your two questions are finished. Honorable, I don't know whether you will want to wait until everybody will have at the same time, then they begin to have. That's dangerous. Okay. Honorable Member for Sani Mentoring.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, it has been a norm in the Gambia for the electrification by skipping one village to the other. Could you kindly tell us what are the challenges that you are facing, which is bringing this skip from village to village by not electrifying some of those villages? Thank you.
Honorable Member, the main challenge is financing. If we get the finances right today, I can promise you that the entire country will be electrified. Financing is the major problem. Our budget cannot support such capital incentive projects. We depend on the goodwill of our partners, and I am happy to report that we have already set up a task force, and this includes the main donors for the Universal Access Program, which is the EU, the World Bank. They are all part of the task force, and inshallah, this task force will be inaugurated next week, and we are all committed to this. Be rest assured that if the fundings are available, everywhere we'll have electricity. The main challenge is finance.
Honorable Member for Basse.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, hearing your statement or the response to the Honorable Member for Nyomi, you said by end of 2025 or by 2025, the entire country will be electrified. Is Basse constituency part of this promise? Substantive. He said the entire country, based on this statement.
Honorable, that's substantive. And he said it's the target.
Yes, so is constituency
Honorable, please. Question number 152 of 2024 by the Honorable Member for Fonyi Kansala.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the following villages in Fonyi Kansala constituency were engaged and convinced to accept the OMVG lines running from Soma to Brikama along their farmlands. Could the Honorable Minister of Petroleum and Energy inform this August Assembly what plans has the Ministry has to provide them with electricity? Example, Bayapen, Luluchor, Karunor, Balen, Jikes, Funtang, Karor, Monom, Karan, Bunubur, Tintiba, Kaleng, Kantimba, Kunjenje, Kangalabata, Santamba, and Baro Kunda. Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, due to limited funding, some of these communities within the OMVG transmission corridor are not covered under the ongoing projects, but they are being assessed and will be included in future electrification projects before the end of 2025, inshallah. Government, in its drive to achieve universal access to electricity by end 2025, is intensifying engagements with donor partners for additional funding.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister, villagers and us can attribute to a wrong mapping of drone that was used to do the mapping, not individually. And we allege that this must have did the wrong mapping of where actual OMVG lines were rolling and went onto an area where there's no line. What would you tell to those communities who are really affected?
Honorable Member, what I will tell those communities is that that's not the case. The drones were used to survey areas that are already included in the contractor scope. So the drones were used to facilitate the survey and to expedite the process. But the communities that were included in that scope of work are the ones that have been surveyed using the drone. Of course, the drones will be traversing in areas that are closer, to those communities, but not necessarily removing them if they are included in the list as per the scope. Thank you.
Honorable Minister, there are two specific villages, example, Barokunda and Sankarang, where less than 15 pools. But when I approached the project coordinators, I was told that there must be, they may need a transformer to do that job, where if you count, you will have less than 15 as per the norm of the project. More than 15 will not, but less than 50 will do. What would you avail us on that situation?
Honorable Member, as I said earlier, if the funds are available today, there will be no community that will be left out. Currently, there is no constituency in this country or a district where the transmission lines are not traversing all over. The objective is to make sure we have all these transmission lines all over, so that the remaining ones that are not covered under the ongoing existing projects will have limited funding requirements. Because the most expensive part of our electrification projects are the transmission lines. LV, the low voltage components, are cheaper. So the rest assured that through our engagement with our partners, which is ongoing, if the fundings are available, some of those low-hanging fruits, these are communities that are very close to the transmission lines, would be covered as soon as possible. Thank you.
Question number 153 of 2024 by the Honorable Member for Kiang West.
Honorable Speaker, Sandeng and Batelim village in Kia West constituency have never benefited from electricity since colonial era to date. After 58 years of independence, and the citizens of these said communities, these said villages are taxpayers with a share in the national resources. Could the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy inform this August Assembly on the possibilities of extending electricity to Sandeng, which is 1.5 kilometers, and Bateling 3 kilometers from the South Bank Road?
Honorable Speaker, Bateling is part of the ECOWAS Regional Electricity Access Project, which is one of the projects that are ongoing right now. Poles have been erected in Bateling village already. However, Sandeng is part of the communities that were assessed and listed to be included in the next phase when funding is available before the end of 2025.
Honorable, no supplementary. You are satisfied. Question number 154 of 2024 by the Honorable Member for Janjambure.
Honorable Speaker, there has been unprecedented level of power outrage in rural areas during the past 3 months, coupled with inadequate water supply as observed in a number of times. Could the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy offer an explanation for this power outrages and water shortages being experienced in many places, including Janjambure, and further inform us of the Ministry's plan to address these situations?
Honorable Speaker, the intermittent power outages experienced in URR and CRR due to the construction works for the ongoing electrification project in URR, which involves the connection of transformers on the medium voltage transmission line. And for the transformers to be connected, power supply to the line has to be switched off for safety reasons, which results in the power outages that have been experienced recently in URR and CRR. Honorable Speaker, stable water supply system is fundamentally reliant on constant power supply, which has been irregular recently due to the factors I've just mentioned above. Thus, the intermittent water supply could be partially attributed to this power supply problem. However, power supply disruptions may not be the sole cause of the intermittent water supply in Janjanbureh, as the community's water supply depends on a single borehole and one elevated water storage tank. Any technical fault on this critical infrastructure can significantly impact the community's water supply, thereby affecting the level of service delivery. Cognizant of these challenges, NAWEC management has allocated funds for the drilling of additional borehole, and the contract for the said works has already been awarded. The contractor and NAWEC's representatives were on the ground to assess and identify the most suitable area within the current facility to drill the borehole.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. I can confirm that work have actually started to dig a second borehole, notwithstanding with the only existing borehole on the island. We understand that there have been shortage of fuel for the tank to be pumped. What efforts are you doing to ensure that there is supply of fuel on time? Thank you.
Under normal circumstances, the borehole should be running on NAWEC's main supply. The generator that is there is on standby. And I'll find out from NAWEC why the standby generator is not getting the regular fuel supply that is required. I will not be in a position right now to answer that. Thank you.
Thank you. Until then.
Honorable Member for Bakau.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, you've highlighted or you've outlined some of the measures that your ministry is taking in order to ease water shortage in the country. Are you aware that there are applicants who have paid their water applications and over 8 months now, and they are yet to be installed? Are you aware of that?
Yeah, the numbers I'm not aware, but I'm aware there are some people who have paid, and how many months they have been waiting, I cannot confirm that, but I know there are some customers who are complaining that they have paid and their services are not yet installed. That's true. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Lower Salon.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, on his answer, both here and North and South are in a shortage of water. Honorable Speaker, I will just read where the member asked the Honorable Minister for Energy offer explanations for this power shortage and water shortage being experienced in many places, including Kau. Yes, because we have the experience of shortage of waters in Kau.
Are talking about you experience water shortages in Kaur. Yes, the question incorporates Kaur. Yes, Honorable Minister.
Actually, he's talking about two different systems. The Janjanbureh subsystem is different from the Kauru subsystem. So Kauru, your water supply is a standalone, and your electricity supply is coming from the Soma subsystem, which is the Farafenyo subsystem. So my response to his questions are directly linked to URR and CRR, where his consequence is, and because the power supply is within that subsystem. Of course, I am aware of the water problems in Kauru. As former managing director, we have had several engagements with you and your team, and we are fully aware of the problems in Kauru, and we are working hard to make sure those problems are resolved. Thank you.
Are you saying something?
Yeah, I said I'm not satisfied with the answer. I said I'm not satisfied with the answer. Yeah, because he said we have been engaging. Well, there's no results. It's still as it is.
Honorable member for Lower Salem, you said you are not satisfied with the answer. Pardon? Yeah, but that is the answer. You are not satisfied. I think what you will probably do is engage the minister at his office. Honorable member for Sani Mentoring.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, based on your answer with regards to the water shortage, which was general, specifically for Bijilo and Keresering villages, what is the cause of constant water shortage? Can you tell us the challenges that those people are having until they end up frustrating and getting borehole for themselves? Thank you.
But I'll quickly respond. Yes, Honorable Member, we are fully aware of the challenges countrywide in terms of water supply, particularly within the Greater Banjul area because of the population explosion and the growth in the what is called construction industry, for example. We are aware. We are having some ongoing projects, which included the OIC infrastructure development projects, where NAVEC benefited $22.5 million for water supply. And the contract has been signed. The contractor has mobilized. We are constructing new tanks and a treatment plant, one in Batakunku, and also we are building new water storage tanks in Salaji area. And that will support the Sukuta areas and also the Bijilo areas. There is also another project called the WASI project, which has been funded by the French Development Agency. This project, the tender has already been launched, which is to take care of the emergency requirements. And that tender is been opened and the evaluation will soon start. Those are all geared towards the intervention to ease the current water problems within GBA. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Serekunda.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Could the Honorable Minister confirm that the water shortage is caused mainly by the demand being more than this production? So what plans have your ministry to boost the production of water?
The answer is yes. We have higher demand than supply. That's the truth. The sector has not received adequate investment for a very long time. The growth, we could not catch up with the growth. So as a result, there is really a demand-supply gap. What is happening right now, I've mentioned that already in response to the Honorable Member from Parliamentary. There are intervention projects that are ongoing. We have $22.5 million from the OIC. Contract has already been signed, contractor is mobilized, and the boreholes have already been drilled. So it's just to work on the transmission and also the storage and also the treatment plants. Similarly, we also have the WASI project funded by the French Development Agency. And we have a small intervention from the World Bank. And we have just got another additional financing through the GIRAF, to support our interventions in the area of water supply. So be rest assured, efforts are now in place. Of course, it has to be continuous intervention to make sure that we catch up with the growth of the population. Thank you.
Question number 155 of 2024 by the Honorable Member for Bundunga Kunda, delegated to the Honorable Member for Talending Kunda.
Correct. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I read on behalf of the Honorable Member. Honorable Speaker, the people of Bundunga Kunda are in high need of reliable services, and a dedicated customer care center would greatly benefit the community. Could the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy inform this August Assembly if NAVEC has plans to establish a customer care center at their Bundum Borehole land adjacent to the Bundum Borehole police station? Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, due to budgetary constraints, NAVEC is unable to open a new customer service center in Bundu at the moment. However, Honorable Speaker, Bundung is strategically located between 4 customer care centers, namely Serakunda Branch, Serakunda London, Latrikunda Branch, and Town. In addition, the services provided by the third-party vendors have significantly improved access to services by customers. Honorable Speaker, that's a second question. Huh? Honorable Speaker, the government is indeed aware of the water shortage or challenges in the community of Bundung and other areas within the GBA.
Yeah.
Oh.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Taking cue from the answer, it means there are no plans as yet to create any customer care center in Bundung.
Not immediately, yes. Not at this time. Thank you. Not immediately.
Honorable Member for Kiang West.
Honorable Minister, considering the population of Bundung, Kapunda, Latrikunda and Serakunda are most of the time very congested for customer issues. Could you consider, establishing a customer care center in the said area requested by the Honorable Member?
I think I have already responded to that question. So probably I will repeat the same answer. Honorable Speaker, due to budgetary constraint, NAWEC is unable to open a customer care center in Bundung at the moment. Honorable Speaker, Bundung is strategically located between 4 customer service centers, namely Serakunda Branch, Serakunda London, Latrikunda Branch, and Town. In addition, services provided by the third-party vendors have significantly improved access by our customers. So
Thank you. Question number 156 of 2024 by the Honorable Member for Bundung Kunda, delegated to the Honorable Member for Talending Kunjang.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy update the August Assembly on the level of progress of the borehole project and how far it has gone in addressing the issue of low water pressure in Bundung and its surroundings?
Honorable Speaker, government is indeed aware of the water challenges the community of Bundung and other areas in the GBA are faced with. As such, attempts were made to drill additional boreholes in Bundung last year, but the test results of the water samples collected revealed that the water quality did not meet minimum WHO standards, hence not fit for purpose. To address these challenges, works at the Nemasu borehole has been completed, and the borehole has been in operation since March 2024. Currently, the residents within Nemasu area are benefiting from improved supplies. The only outstanding works are the completion of the office and control room, as well as the waste disposal system, which is anticipated to be completed by end of June 2024. However, to be able to pump into Bundung, approximately 2.4 kilometers of 200 millimeter diameter pipes are required. The procurement process for the said material has started and is expected to be concluded before the end of the year.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Honorable Speaker, Bundung, Talinding, and Joshua, since it says its surroundings, use part of or all our CDF for extension of service pipes to provide water to these areas, specifically Bundung and Talinding. Are we waiting for the expansion you are talking about to install those things?
Yes, some of the projects that I've already mentioned earlier includes expansion and upgrading of the existing network in some of the places. The greenfield areas will be provided with some access. Some of the existing areas, especially Bundung, Talinding, where we have a lot of substandard, pipes within our network that are either undersized and they have been there for a long time also. That has also created some bottlenecks within our distribution system, would be upgraded, and some of the pipe sizes are going to be improved. So yes, some of the projects are going to take care of some of the challenges, current challenges in terms of our distribution network in some of these areas. That is true.
Are you aware that National Assembly has disposed funds since January, and the received advice, credit advice, says that your institution will implement it within 16 weeks. That has elapsed long since.
Honorable member, sorry, I am not aware. Thank you.
Honorable member for Kiang West.
Honorable Minister, in your response, you've indicated about lack of quality of the water which has been tested in the said area, Bundo. What are you doing about the issue of encroachment into your boreholes and land banking so that we can have the quality of water that we need, for the areas, because that has been a serious challenge to supply Bundung with water?
Thank you very much. Yes, the issue of encroachment is a major challenge. That's why we have decommissioned some of our boreholes within the GBA, especially around Kanifing, Fajara, and also Bundung. Particularly Bundung, for example, we had a borehole in Bundung borehole, and this place was occupied by the market women. We've tried everything possible to get them out of the place. I wish the honorable member for Bundung is around. He was a councillor then, and we had several engagements to get these people out of this place, and they did not. And the place is now fully fledged market. And that has really constrained the utility to be able to provide adequate water supply in Bundung. And that water, but particular borehole now is having high nitrate content, and you cannot supply the people with that water. It's going to cause health hazards. And we have similar problems around Fajara and some part of Kanifing, because these were places where people were not in, the inhabitants were not many when those boreholes have been drilled. But today they are all built up areas. So currently some of those boreholes are really not fit for purpose, and we have to decommission them for the health of our people. So right now, what we are doing, we are going very far into forest areas to drill our boreholes, and this is at a cost, and the cost is very expensive in terms of transmission line. To send water from distant areas into the built-up areas is very costly. But nonetheless, we also need some planning as a government, because the estate development that is also ongoing is not regulated, and this needs to be done. Thank you.
Honorable member for Bakau. Honorable Speaker, I think part of my question is being answered, but then it's okay for me to ask. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Minister, the question is specifically for Bundung, but I'm sure you are aware that this is a national problem. How ready is your ministry to make sure that this problem are solved?
Well, I think I'll be repeating myself many times. Yeah, so I think your question was already answered. Thank you.
Honorable member for Salimentary.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, you've made mention in your response that the women vendors who occupied the said area, which make it difficult for adequate water supply for Bundung-Kakunda. Did you, at any point in time, try to identify a place where these vendors could have been could transfer and then do their normal businesses, so that you can also use the place as you may want it? Thank you.
Unfortunately, that responsibility is for the municipality. And yeah, that's for the municipality, and we engage the municipality to vacate our premises. So the onus is on the municipality to identify place for the market women. So that's not for NAWEC. I'm sorry.
Honorable member for Serekunda.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Since the production of water depends entirely on electricity, which is very expensive, does your ministry has any plans to shift from electricity to renewable energy?
Point of order, Honorable Speaker. Point of order.
Who is that? Sabak Sanyal?
Yes, Honorable Speaker, a supplementary question on the supplementary question 43.4. A supplementary question shall not be in order if it introduces matters not included in the original question. The Honorable Member is asking for renewable energy and the like, and that is not included in the original question. So he might maybe ask a substantive question.
Honorable, it will be difficult. I was doing something when the question was being asked. I don't know, what was the question? Can I hear the question?
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. We have made our research, and it shows us that the production of water through electricity is one of the main causes of this water shortage. So my question is, since the current status quo is that the production of water depends entirely on electricity, which is very expensive, so does your ministry has any plans to shift from electricity production to renewable energy?
It's relevant to the adequate water supply.
So I'll just take the liberty to respond. Honorable Member, you are absolutely right. The two, there is a correlationship between water supply, reliable water supply, and reliable electricity supply. If you don't have reliable electricity supply, of course, it has an impact, direct impact on the water supply as well. Of course, overall, we are transitioning as a utility, or in fact, this is an agenda for the West African Power Pool to transition into renewables. Not necessarily only targeting our water facilities, of course, which is something that we have also put in our plans, to have solar plants to be able to power our water facilities through solar. And we have got a support from the World Bank to do this quick assessment for us to determine what we require to get this done. And if this will require retrofitting some of our pumps, to be able to use both solar and the conventional one, we will utilize it. You are very right. But in general, we are also going in for renewables, even for our main electricity supply in this country. Thank you.
Question number 157 of 2024 by the Honorable Member for Kiang Central.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy inform this August Assembly about the government plans regarding to the unavailability of electricity in so many communities in my constituency, Kiang Central?
Honorable Speaker, installation works in most of the villages in Kiang Central are ongoing, with few left out at this stage. However, funding is being sought for those villages for possible electrification as soon as possible. The communities covered in Kiang Central includes the following. Welingara.
The community is not covered?
No, so that was an error.
Okay.
Yeah, please forgive me for that. Just remove the note. It should be covered. In Kiang Central includes the following. Welingara, Tabanani, Madina, Nyoro, Sibito, Jarakunda, Sare Sajo, Kundom, Numukunda, Kundam Fulakunda, Kundam Maria, Nema, Njolfen, and Nema. So these are already covered in Kiang Central. And all things being equal, the remains are going to be covered as well. Yeah.
Thank you very much for that wonderful job.
No supplementary
question.
Question number 158 of 2024 by the Honorable Member for Upper Fuladu West.
Yes, thank you so very much, Honorable Speaker. I think when members talk about water, I think I'm the member who is mostly affected as far as water is concerned. Anyway, I have a question for the Honorable Minister First of all, I would like to thank him for his new position. And then the question that I have, that is, Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy inform this August Assembly what is his ministry doing to resolve clean and healthy water system in Bansang after 2 decades?
Honorable Speaker, the long-standing issue of water supply in Bansang has been a matter of concern to all. The management of NAWEC, cognizant of this fact, has made attempts in the past to address the problem. Regrettably, due to the high level of iron and manganese in the area, these efforts have not yielded the desired results. In 2021, NAWEC's management, through the World Bank-funded project, made significant progress in securing land for the drilling of boreholes and construction of a water treatment facility in Sankulekunda. This was aimed at supplying Bansang and its surrounding areas with water from Sankulekunda. However, these efforts were hindered by the findings of the water quality results of boreholes drilled within the proposed catchment area by a project implemented under the Department of Water Resources. Committed to finding a lasting solution to the Bansang issue, a feasibility study funded by the World Bank was conducted to explore possible options and evaluate their feasibility, out of which riverbank filtration emerged as the most preferred solution to address the high iron and manganese content. A test borehole was drilled, operated for some time to validate the recommendations from the study, and implementation will be done under the Giraffe project.
Yes, Honorable Minister, but I think you are fully aware that the borehole that was dug around Bansang Nawek station, I think this was almost coming to 2 years, and then that borehole was dug for almost 2 years now, but nothing has been done as far as water supply in Bansang. And then we are witnessing the same scenario for almost 20 years now. So the question that I want to ask, whether you have any short-term plan for the people of Bansang, because you talk about riverbank filtration, and which cannot be done just overnight. So what is the short-term plan as far as your ministry is concerned?
Thank you very much. That borehole that was drilled and that riverbank was part of a study that we sanctioned, supported by the World Bank. Because the area, the Bansang, what is called the Bansang geological area, it's an iron belt. And that has gone all the way to Sankulekunda areas. Unfortunately, any borehole that you drill within that environment that is outside the riverbank, you will still have this high iron content. It's similar to Gunjur in Combo. The belt is an iron belt area. So wherever you drill borehole, you will still have that high iron content. So that's why we sanctioned a study to look at the possibility of using the riverbank to drill boreholes on the riverbank and able to, and then treat this to be able to supply the communities, which is going to be easier than with the removal of iron and manganese, which is much more expensive. So already funding is secured. That was just done as a study, and the study informed our engagements with the World Bank to have additional financing through the agricultural project to support that intervention in Bansang and other peri-urban areas in the Gambia. Thank you.
Yes, finally, I just want to put record straight. If I get you right, what you are explaining, meaning the water problem in Bansang will be solved sooner or later. As far as already, as you said, when the funding is already available, then this water supply problem will be solved as far as that of Bansang is concerned. So I don't know.
What is the question?
No, what I'm asking, he talked about something which to me will be feasible, but it's going to be a long time. Like he talked about riverbank filtration, whereby they are planning to dig a borehole, which they even dug one borehole around Nawek, which is just close to the riverbank. So just as he said, these are the boreholes. What I heard was they're going to dig 3 or 4 boreholes, whereby that borehole will supply water to Bansang. So for me, I think that is going to be a long process. What I'm talking about, the short-term plan, because we have 8 kabilos in Bansang. Is there any possibility whereby NAWEC can dig boreholes in these kabilos, whereby they can be working on the long-term solution?
Honorable, I don't think, Honorable, the Honorable Minister made it very clear that the area has iron. Anywhere you dig borehole will have iron. They tried to go to Sankulekunda, the same. Their now plan is to use the river. So anywhere you dig it in the compound there, it will have the same.
No, Speaker, you don't understand me or you don't get me. What I'm saying, a borehole is already dug in Bansang. Now we're just close to the river. The minister is fully aware. We were in this for almost 2-3 years now. He knew everything. But what I'm saying, that will take long. I'm talking about the short-term plan for the people of Bansang.
Migrate to Sabasanja.
Okay, just a quick response to the honorable member. Honorable member, we want our solutions to be sustainable. You know, we don't just want to jump and start drilling boreholes to have the same results. That borehole that was drilled was for a purpose. It was an observatory borehole for the study, to inform whatever interventions that needed to be done in that area. And now the results have enabled us to secure funding through the giraffe. About $20 million is now been awarded to NAWEC to intervene in Bansang and also in other some peri-urban areas. So be rest assured that we are committed to have a solution to your problem. We don't want this situation to continue. We wish Allah has given us a different environment so that we not have the iron in our area, so that we can have a quick solution to your problem. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Janjambure.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Bansang is their neighbors, and also they serve as a health hub for the people of Central River Region and as well as Upper River Region. As such, Honorable Minister, I just want you to be specific here. When specifically would this project that is intended by Giraffe would be implemented and ready for the people of Bansang to have access to clean and drinkable water? Thank you.
As we speak, preparations for the bill of quantities and everything for this particular project is ongoing. And we will tender this project as soon as possible. We just got the approval for the funding at the beginning of the year. So the preparations are ongoing. It's been coordinated at the Ministry of Agriculture. It's just like an additional financing that has been given to agriculture, and part of it has now benefited NAWEC. So the process is ongoing. Timelines, unfortunately, as I speak right now, I cannot confirm. But maybe in another parliamentary session, probably I can confirm exactly the timelines. But for today, unfortunately, no. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Brikama South.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, is it possible to bring in another strategic approach like the way it has been dealt with Junju, since their 2 balls have been decommissioned and they are getting their source from Busranding and Brikama Tambana, and that of Bakau and the entire Fajara, the boreholes have been decommissioned, getting their source. And Janjambure is very close. If you can expand the borehole drilling in Janjambure in order to supply Bansang, don't you think that is a way in order to address this problem in the soonest possible time?
I think in my response, I've already said we attempted. We went closer to Janjambure, that's Sankulekunda, so that we can drill boreholes in Sankulekunda and send water to Bansang. But Honorable Member, remember, there are cost implications to some of these interventions. And drilling a borehole in Janjambure, which is an island, to send water to Bansang is doable. but it has serious cost implications. And definitely NAWEC is not at that, in that financial position, you know it. It's impossible for us to handle that right now. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Lower Saloon.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. No wonder, you are well informed. Thank you very much. Honorable Speaker, you have mentioned the issue of World Bank. Yes. You have talked about the monies that was getting from World Bank, about Bansang issue. How soon this project will kickstart to solve their water problem?
I think I'll be repeating myself today many times, right? Okay. The project just got approval. The additional funding is just approved. So right now, preparations are ongoing to get the scope of works ready for possible tender as soon as possible. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Serekunda.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Since it is very expensive the processing of water we currently have in this country, very expensive. Like drilling a borehole, you need some pressure machines to pump the water to reservoirs and then distribute. Here we have a 300-kilometer of fresh water. So does your ministry have any plans to harness the River Gambia to produce water and supply to the rural Gambia?
Sorry, no immediate plans for that. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Basse.
Honorable Minister, looking at or listening to you, because you said you have tried several avenues up to Janjambure. Presently, securing the fund, have you identified a safe place where you can drill this borehole?
Yes, Honorable. It's on the river bank, right in Bansang. Yeah.
I think, Honorable, you have stated that over 10 times now. Let me thank the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy.
Mozon,
you have definitely responded to members' concerns, because these concerns of electricity and water is concern for all. But I also believe your expertise at NAWEC, coupled with your current portfolio, made you in a better position to respond to these issues. We thank you very much.
Mozon, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Member for Lower Salu, you cannot put up a motion as we speak now. We are on this issue. When we put it off, we are going to continue, and even tomorrow we are going to continue. That motion can come up at any time for us to, members to either agree or disagree.
You can put a motion at any particular time you feel like...
Yes, it's never late. I have taken note of your motion, and you will be reminded to put up your motion, either today or probably tomorrow.
Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Member.
Honorable Speaker, I just want to beg your intelligence, you allow me to move this motion, because it's a matter of importance, and it's a concern to Gambian people, and we are here to represent Gambian people.
I looked at all the factors and came up with this determination that motion, we are not going to deny your motion. It's only plenary that will say we accept or we don't accept. But we are on questions and answers as we speak now. You want to bring in a motion. I said, let's complete our question and answers, and then we go to the motions. I think that's very simple. If you put up the motion now, it will not be implemented now. Please. Honorable members, clerk, may we proceed, please?
Questions for oral answer by the Honorable Minister for Communication and Digital Economy.
Thank you very much. Honorable Minister for Communications and Digital Economy, you may take the podium. Honorable members, questions for which due notice were given to the Honorable Minister for Communications and Digital Economy by honorable members for reply. Question number 240 of 2024 by the honorable member for Upper Salu.
Honorable Speaker,
Who is stepping in for him?
I.
When you are delegated those responsibilities, you either inform me or you inform the table office. Please, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Communication and Digital Economy confirm if all SIM cards issued by GSM companies in the Gambia are registered and that the data is easily available to law enforcement agencies as when requested during investigations?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Let me inform this August Assembly. Yes, currently all SIM card issued by GSM operators are registered in line with the SIM card registration, regulation, and data is easily available to law enforcement agency. In fact, law enforcement agencies have been requesting such information for investigation purposes for national security and crimes related to reasons, and they never had any hurdle to access such data or data related to subscribed information. Thank you.
Honorable Minister, is the regulator PURA monitoring this registration as it is crucial for the security of this country, and how do they check for compliance?
Thank you very much. Honorable Member, PURA is the regulator for the telecom sector. In all investigations, when it comes to SIMs and other related issue in this matter, PURA is in charge and they are monitoring the progress on this matter. Thank you.
Honorable Minister, are there any GSM companies found wanting for not abiding by the regulation, and what is the outcome of this infringement if there are any?
Thank you very much. Can you repeat the question, please?
Minister, are there any GSM companies found wanting for not abiding by the regulations, and what is the outcome of this infringement if there are any?
Thank you very much. There is no GSM operator that I'm aware of that is not in compliance with this law. Thank you.
Honorable members, I said if you want to ask questions, you raise your tag. Sometimes when we move, you will begin to tell me to go back. Honorable Member for Fonyi Kansala.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, in terms of the SIM registrations, do you have any fact data check with PURA to ascertain that all GSMs are using database method instead of Excel spreadsheet for compliance of immediate results when some of those crimes are needed? Are you aware of that as a minister?
Thank you very much. There is what we call CDR, Customer Data Record. All SIM cards that are registered go through the CDR, Customer Data Record, and they provide their ID card for proof of their information. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Nyamina West.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Speaker, could the Honorable Minister confirm to us if there have never been any user or a group of users, CUG, that they come across who have not complied to the registration? And if so, what were the measures? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Member, I am not aware any activities in terms of Pura that the Honorable Member is questioning that has not been in compliance with his question. I have never seen that, and I'm not aware of that. Thank you.
Question number, Member for Kiang West.
Honorable Minister, how do you monitor these registrations? And is your ministry ready to inform us that all the SIM cards that are in use within our country are registered with correct and updated data of the specific owners?
Order, Honorable Speaker. I'm writing on 38J. Point of order.
Yes?
Yes, 38J.
On what?
Point of order on 38J.
38J.
Yeah, a question fully answered shall not be asked again during the same session.
Order sustained. Honorable Member for Lower Salem.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. SIM cards are issued by the GM's operators, are registered in the country. But, Honorable Speaker, there are street SIM card sellers. Sometimes, in fact, the people, sorry to mention this one, around the allegations of Kabada's people normally use this SIM card to take people on blackmailing them and article it. If they use it, then they throw it out.
Also Lower Salem.
Talking about point of order. Huh? The member for Kiang Central.
I did not raise a point of order. I just respond to the honorable member.
No, but you cannot respond to the honorable member for what he has said, if not on a point of order or observation that he has agreed to.
You cannot accuse my people when he is Jordan.
Honorable members, you either you want to observe him or comment on him and he agrees, you do it. Or you put up a point of order. Otherwise,
Honorable Speaker, point of order.
Honorable members, please.
On a point of order.
Who is talking? Who is? Yes, Honorable Deputy Minority and Member for
Yes. I just wanted to move a point of order with regards to the member for Lower Salem's question. On 43.1, supplementary questions may be put for the purpose of elucidating the oral answer. But the minister responded to the question, and the original question is talking about whether they are registered. But now he's talking about people using the SIM card and throwing it, and I think it's out of order.
Street sellers, I mean.
I think Honorable Member for Old Yundum, can you come back again?
I said.
Honorable members, please.
I said, on supplementary questions, 43.1, it says supplementary questions may be put for the purpose of elucidating an oral answer. Now, the minister responded to the original question that is set. And then that question is talking about the registers of SIM cards. But the member now is talking about the street sellers buying SIM card and then scamming people and throwing it out. That's what I'm saying. I said That question is not in line with the original question.
I think you are right. It is sustained.
Honorable Speaker, on the minister's response that all SIM cards are registered.
Honorable, you see, honorable member, when a point of order is done and a decision is taken, we proceed. The whole issue is, as the member said, we're talking about registration of SIM cards. You're talking about seed sellers of SIM cards and people using SIM cards and throwing it away. Now, that has no correlation with actually the registration. The minister made it very clear that SIM cards are registered. So even a registered SIM card, you can use something and throw it away, or something can happen. If you have any, because we are guided by the standing orders as to how we put up supplementary questions, and that all supplementary questions are to be in line with those our own standing orders.
Speaker, it's my right also, if the minister make a response, I tap from the response where he gives an answer. And I gave this question based on his response that all SIM cards that are used are registered. And now I'm asking him, the street sellers who normally sell their SIM cards to people, are they registered? Because we have seen where people are blackmailed people using those SIM cards.
Yes, but you are now saying, you said the minister said all SIM cards are registered. You are saying street sellers sell SIM cards. Are those registered? Are those not SIM cards? All those people in this hall are Gambians. And I begin to ask, is Honorable Mr. Seni a Gambian? You know, all SIM cards are registered. Now you're talking about specific areas. His answer covered all. Whether it's right or wrong is what you should find out and then probably come back on him or challenge him on it. But his answer now, unless you are able to prove that this particular SIM card is not registered, how would you say that it is wrong? Yeah, you just do your research and then come out.
Point of order.
Jara West.
Honorable Speaker, I'm rising on point of order 38(1)A. Admissibility of questions. One says, every question shall conform to the following rules. A question shall not include the names of person or statement not strictly necessary to render the question intelligibly and which the member cannot authenticate. The member is just alleging people can be from Lower Salum and mention they are from Kabada because we have great people in Kabada. So he cannot authenticate this.
Allegations, I mean.
All right, we have passed that. Yeah, the relevant section quoted is relevant and is true, and we should all be mindful of it. Question number. Pardon? Question number 241 of 2024 by the Honorable Member for Upper Salu.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Communication and Digital Economy confirm the availability of a policy on the identification and protection of critical national ICT infrastructure? If none, does he plan to work with other regulators like the Central Bank and Public Utilities Regulatory Authority to create one?
Thank you very much. Honorable Speaker, let me inform this August Assembly. Currently, we do not have a holistic policy specific on critical national infrastructure protection. However, the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy is working on formulating a critical information infrastructure protection called CIIP policy regulation. This is being done through the consultancy under the World Bank funded West Africa Digital Integration Program, WADI project. The term of reference TOR is done and is soon to be expression of interest, the EOI, while launching this coming month. The project would be delivered in consultation with the relevant stakeholders in the ecosystem, including the Central Bank and PURA. Meanwhile, we have the National Cybersecurity Policy 2022 to 2026 that has a critical information infrastructure protection as its fourth pillar. Thank you.
Honorable Minister, why has it taken this long for the government to come up with this policy, knowing fully the importance of this critical infrastructure?
Thank you very much. As you know, some of these policies required a competent, knowledgeable consultant to conduct such a policy, and there was no resources or funds earlier to do this. So now we have the WADI project, which we have included in this national infrastructure, and we are in progress. Thank you.
How soon do you think this policy will be made, and will it cover the private sector, because they cover a critical portion like telecommunication?
Thank you very much. I can agree with you more. This would definitely be implemented before the end of the year. 1, 2, it would include the private sector. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Nyamina West.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I agree with Honorable Minister because it is a young ministry for now. My question will center on the national ICT infrastructure, though it's very important to protect. But in the same vein, we have many players now, GSM companies and service providers. So that warrants us to see many towers, many infrastructure across the country, and these are sometimes fragile. So in your policies, I hope you have...
Point of order, Honorable Speaker. Yeah, Honorable Member for Fonyi Binta. Yes, point of order 38-2. 38-2? Yes. No speech shall be made by any member in asking a question, and no debate shall be permitted on any question. And the honorable member is making a speech, not a question. You know, myself, earlier on, there were a lot of honorable members who were making preambles to their questions. And I wanted to observe them, but I let it go, because some of them seemed to thank for the first time the honorable minister. I don't know. I thought the man was asking about these long antennas, their security. I think that's what he was asking. Am I right? Now, honorable member for Nyamina West, can you come up with your question again? Let me listen.
Okay, I'm just saying if they have plans also to come out with specifications so as to take care of the danger of since these materials are sometimes fragile. Yeah, this infrastructure. He understands what I'm saying.
He's trying to maneuver here. Things will not work. Honorable Minister, I think what the honorable member is asking is, some of these long antennas found in most parts of the country are fragile. Are there ways of ensuring that they are well protected
to avoid probably damage or accidents in the future. Lining it up with the information infrastructure protection. Is it honorable nominated member, Keba?
No, I withdraw, Honorable Speaker. I withdraw.
Yes. Honorable Minister, we're waiting.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member, for your question. When it comes to national protection of infrastructure, it's all in. We are not just